The following may contain language which will be offensive to some people and inappropriate for children. The topics discussed may include drugs, alcohol, or be sexual in nature. This show is intended for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised. I'm serious. It's dirty. Really, really dirty. Still here? Then pour your favorite beverage, sit back, and let's get this fucking show started.
Fantastic Forum. Assemble. This is the Fantastic Forum, the premier show about comic books and your live weekly conversation about comics, entertainment, and pop culture. Welcome to Fantastic Forum. Hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, as the case may be, depending on where you are in the world. And if you're not, you should stick with us. We'll help you take it up a notch. You have the usual suspects in the building. First, he is our intrepid senior reporter. He's next in line for the cowl. He is our resident Dark Knight detective. He's Oz.
I miss my barn.
Oz, you're an egg, Oz. You're like an egg. You're like a Twitter egg. Or what is this, a Pokeball? You're like a Pokeball.
I'm working on it. Jeez, God.
You're a Pokeball. Next. He is our friggin', damn it. What the hell are you, Jay? You are a riddle
wrapped in an enigma
inside of a
Chinese finger cuffs.
trap. No, you're trapped in the Chinese finger cuffs.
That's what I said.
Oh, sorry. I apologize. Yeah, you know him. You love him anyway. He's a silent assassin, Jay.
We can't say Chinese anymore, right?
There's still Chinese finger cuffs. That's not racist. It's just where they're from. What? What do I have to say?
Wuhan cuffs.
See,
yeah, Wuhan cuffs. Or
like we got canceled even before we got on. It's rough, man. It's rough out here. That
don't blame me.
No, definitely blaming you. The dulcet tones of the backbone, the pillar, the strength of Fantastic Forum, our nigh invulnerable brawler and resident strongman, Moses Magnum.
Hey.
It's his
don't
fault.
blame me, man. I just say things.
that is 90% of the problem. My name's Lawrence Young. They call me Mary Young. Welcome to Fantastic Forum. Oh, geez. I think I spilled drink on myself. I don't know. Anyway, we got a great show for you today. Say what?
It's droplets.
Oh, no, not the droplets. Like that. I got it. I didn't mean to get it, but I got it. Yeah. We got a great show for you today. We're going to be reviewing the Sumerian people of the Black Circle, number 1. We're going to review that. We're also going to review Batman, 3 Jokers, number 1 as well today. And we'll bring you the latest and greatest in comic book news. But before we do all that, we want to make sure that we thank Mr. Scott Rubin, who without him, the show wouldn't be possible. So thanks, Scott. Appreciate you, buddy. Yeah, so we're going to do all that. If you want to get down with Fantastic Forum, we do have a way for you to do that. Here's how.
We're doing that.
I mean, shouldn't we be figuring out if we're not doing it? Like, shouldn't we just always we should assume we're doing it unless we say different, right? Or I don't know.
I guess. I mean, we still have the PPE, like we still have the pair, so might as well. All right, take it away, intern.
Want to get in on the action? Call Fantastic Forum on Skype and join the fun. Too shy to call in? That's okay. You can join the Discord chat room available at
Fantasticforum.live.
Join the party. You know you want to.
Every time, man. Every time she says fantasticforum.live, I'm like,
We
Excuse
got
me for a little
Priscilla in
bit.
chat. Says I'm reading 3 Jokers so I can contribute.
oh, nice. Heckzilla's in chat. What up, Heck? Good to see you, buddy. Look, go ahead.
Tanro 210 says your audio is bad.
Oh, no. Whose audio is bad in particular, Tanro 210? Is it like all of our audio, or is it one of our audios in particular? Please be specific. Thank you, Tanro.
Tiger Claw in chat says, "What's up, Fantastic Forum? What y'all think of the WandaVision trailer?"
Let's get into it. I agree. Listen, hey, look, what? What is Oz? Wait a minute. What is Oz doing? Oh my goodness. What does this mean?
I was just thinking he should have his own little logo for when he calls in like this.
I gotta do.
Wait,
I gotta do something with this fucking media degree.
Wait, here's what's awesome is the fact that it's Oz in a Green Lantern symbol is awesome because I know Oz. However, it looks like he hates Green Lantern. It looks like Green Lantern's crossed out. Like which is like anti-Lantern.
Well, you know, he wants to defund the space police.
He wants to defund the space police.
You know what I'm mad about that logo though is I'm mad that it took this long for him to make it.
I agree. This felt like this should have been Fantastic Forum year 2.
Yeah, it's funny because it like I made it in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, this is. I mean, all you did was put a green line through it. It's like this is not high art here. It's very clever, but it's not high art.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a shirt now.
Listen, I might buy that shirt. I don't know if I'll wear it, but I might buy it. I'll buy it, but I don't know if I'll wear it. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm gonna buy the shirt. Tenro says that he says it sounds like the live stream, which that is what this is. But it says that we all crackle. I don't know what that means. What, we all are crackling? Really? Yeah. Is that how we sound?
I mean, I don't know what Tanro equipment is, but heck, in chat, Tiger Claw, let us know. Are you experiencing the same thing?
Please. Yeah, because I would be shocked to find out that we're crackling for everyone and no one has said anything up to this point. Tiger Claw, before talking about WandaVision, would be like, hey, why do y'all sound crackly? Why are you on and crackling?
You sound like shit. That's what Tiger Claw would have said.
Something very similar. I feel like Tiger Claw wouldn't have cursed, but he would have done something that would have made us feel worse than if he had cursed. You know, like you all sound like
you guys are all bad.
You guys are all bad.
Tiger Claw said it sounds good. It might be a Twitch issue.
Oh,
yeah,
that is true. So Tanro, please, if you have the time, go to YouTube and see if we sound the same to you on YouTube as we do on Twitch. And if we sound bad on Twitch, please let us know, because we want to fix that if we can, which technically I don't know that we can, because we're not like StreamYard basically handles the streaming to the different platforms. Like if we sound good on YouTube but not on Twitch, then that I don't know if there's anything that we can do to make that different, right?
Yeah.
Interesting though. Thank you for letting us know that, Tanro 210.
Yeah. It's got to be something we got to look into.
Yeah. Maybe we should ditch Twitch and just do Facebook, or we can do all of them actually, I guess, right?
Yeah, now that we can too, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, let's talk about WandaVision, folks. First of all, is there anyone on the call, or is there anyone from the forum that hasn't seen the WandaVision trailer? Jay, don't say.
I haven't.
Oh, Jay, you son of a bitch! I got to send you every link, huh, Jay?
I mean, I knew it was out there. I just
Right.
kind of
That's
don't
the part that bugs me the most.
care.
Just
So-
like, oh, new WandaVision trailer. I mean, we might talk about that, but will we really? Jay's inner monologue. We might talk about that, but is it really that big of a deal? He's like, I think in somewhere in Jay's mind, he really feels like I'm the only one that cares about Marvel stuff. Like it's just me.
He's like, I know Larry's gonna love it.
Out of all of us, you are the biggest Vision fan out of all of us.
Well,
Like-
yeah.
So I wasn't sure we were all gonna be like into this.
But Jay, you understand that Marvel as a brand is bigger than like. It's weird to say this because I'm not comfortable with this. I'm just gonna put this out here right now, but I'm just gonna say this because it's true. You understand that Marvel as a brand is bigger than comic books, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Taro in chat says it is Twitch. YouTube is Crystal.
Okay.
So that's good to know. We should definitely try to figure that out.
Yeah, Tanro, thank you for that update. Really, again, I don't know if there's anything that I can do to fix that, just because if it was on our end and we were messed up on every platform, or if we were messed up on every platform, I would feel like it's our end. But if we're Crystal on YouTube, but not on Twitch, it's like, as far as StreamYard is concerned, like literally all I do to get us to go to Twitch is click a icon. So I don't know what to say. Yeah, like I don't know if something's happening on Twitch's end or if something's happening on StreamYard's end, but I might write them an email and be like, hey.
A strong
StreamYard-
worded email.
No, I'm not going to do it strong. I don't know whose bad it is. It might be Twitch. So I might write to StreamYard and be like, hey, StreamYard, this happened to us. Can you help? Because they might be like, hey, man, those Twitch guys are terrible people. Which, I don't think they'll say
I
that.
mean, they are owned by Bezos, and I've heard a lot of bad things about him.
I love it.
Mm.
His name means
Tiger
kid.
Chat says, so about WandaVision, I heard there were some references to House of M in this.
I keep seeing people say that.
That's because they never read them.
Listen, that's how I'm feeling about it because I'm kind of I'm a huge X-Men fan. I read House of M like almost annually just because I like it.
It's one of those like
The House of M reference is a bottle of wine that's in the trailer.
Oh, it's like the same type of bottle?
No, it's a bottle of wine that she's when she's pouring the wine magically,
Uh-huh.
and the label on the bottle says Maison du something. I forget what the word is because it's in French, but it means contempt or something. But it starts with an M, and then the logo on the bottle is an M. So people are saying, "Oh, House of M. This is a House of M story." Yep, that's what they're doing. Forgetting that a lot of these movies from Marvel and DC and they'll reference a story. Doesn't necessarily mean that's what they're doing. They're just referencing it.
Because I can't tell you how many articles I've seen already that are like confirmed WandaVision will be the way that we introduce mutants into the MCU.
Yeah, that's because people don't seem to ever learn that these movies don't ever follow the actual story they claim to follow, even when they claim to follow a story.
even when
this isn't even a case of that. I think Olsen like held up a House of M comic once, and so they're linking that to the name on a wine bottle, a random ass wine bottle in a trailer, and putting two and two together and saying, okay, here we go, we're getting mutants.
Well, I will say this: House of M has like an M that has like a particular kind of logo. Is it possible that the logo from the M in House of M and the logo on the wine bottle M are the same logo?
No.
No,
Oh,
because the M in House of M is just it's just Magneto's face plate on like his face opening on the mask on the helmet.
it is similar. Yeah.
What is that?
Okay. What is what?
The M is really just the outline of the helmet.
Yeah. Okay. So then, yeah. Which here's the thing. It's possible that House of M may play some role in this show, and it's even possible that WandaVision very well may have like some sort of like reverse House of M thing where Wanda, for whatever reason, would say that she wants mutants, and then mutants come into the MCU that way. But I will say this, that is probably the absolute worst way that mutants could come into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, it just seems like it reeks of laziness to me.
I posted the image in Discord chat if anybody's on that.
I also have it in screen
forget about
share. If you want to share my screen, I've got it up.
So now, why is this a House of M reference?
Because the name on the bottle is Maison du whatever, and then you see on the neck of the bottle there's a M. That's literally why people are saying this is House of M. This shot right here.
That can't be it. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
I mean, I can see that being an Easter egg to House of M, but
How?
well,
It's a letter.
Maison de Mépris, like that House of Mépris, and then the little thing is Maison.
Oh, wait, does that mean House of?
Maison du, yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
You don't know French? You never took French in high school? In your
I
French
literally
education?
just told you like 5 minutes ago.
You didn't say it says House of M.
Yes, I did. It said
He said in French it says House of and whatever that word is.
Okay.
See, Larry?
Okay. So if it says House of M,
Yeah.
I get why they're okay, but that literally is just an Easter egg, and that's it.
Right. Now, how you were saying that this could be, like, I think as far as House of M goes and WandaVision, I think it's like House of M light. Like, the alternate reality she creates is probably in her own little bubble kind of thing. It's not a big reality altering thing. You know what I mean?
And yeah, you're basically saying like they're introducing her power to be able to alter reality in this show.
Right. Yeah. And then maybe you'll get, because it's supposed to connect to Multiverse of Madness, which will probably give her the glimpse of what mutants are in another universe. And then she'd have a reference for them to want to be here. Now, I don't know why she would want them to be here, but
probably because what I've been seeing is that people are thinking that once the illusion or whatever she's creating, once that goes away, she's going to lose those kids. And so her trying to get Wiccan and Speed back are kind of the way she brings them from a different universe and drags along mutants with her.
Wait, are there kids in the trailer too?
Yeah, 2 of them.
Yeah, they were in the original like teaser too. But the thing is,
I don't remember any. Oh, you know what? I do remember kids in the original teaser. Sorry.
I don't think Lauren saw the trailer.
The thing,
I swear. I swear. I watched it.
Tiger Claw in chat says, I love how this show will reference a lot of these old sitcoms. You also see them wearing the classic costumes too.
Yeah,
that is true.
Back to where I don't get how, like, I think it's a bad move to try to make it like House of M, you know, and because there's not like the stakes aren't high enough here, you know.
The stakes
when
aren't
you read
high enough
something
for
like
it to be House of M, you're saying?
Like, you know, the reality altering stuff, like it was a build up to House of M, you know, dealing with Fantastic Four and all. It's everybody. Like you read a Spider-Girl comic, and it's like, man, this is the most tragic thing I ever saw. And it was the House of M tie-in. You know, like it
Mhm.
changed that character. It changed the way she
Yeah.
looked at Peter, and yeah, it was bad. Wolverine. Like,
I mean, not to mention that House of M also was like preluded by Avengers Disassembled.
right? Yeah, yeah. That's a whole other thing too. But
Right.
haven't done that here. But I mean, that's what I said about Civil War too. Like, it doesn't feel like Civil War is that big. The movie I mean, it's still a great movie, but
Hey man, tens of heroes were okay, not tens, but 10 heroes. 10
And you
heroes
know,
went. It
like-
was a divide for the ages.
and the Black Goliath still came out peachy, like unlike the comics.
Oh, Black Goliath, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Wait,
didn't
Black? I forget. Was he? He wasn't even introduced though until post Civil War, right?
Right. Until Ant-Man 2.
No, trust me, he'll be dead soon.
But not by a robot. Not by a robot clone of Thor.
Amen. That is true. No one wants to go out like that.
Because the thing is, even when Thor showed up there, like it was like, fuck, like Thor's here. Like, whose side is he gonna be on? There it turned out to be a robot. Like,
Mm-hmm.
There's-
I mean, once it came in on that last page, I was like, oh fuck. That's how you sell fucking tie-ins. Because he has been
There's
out of
only-
the picture for a while.
There's really only one positive thing I took away from this trailer. Well, two actually. The adult Monica Rambeau being introduced is something that I'm kind of interested in, even though I don't know a whole lot about her.
I did not even realize that's who that was.
Yeah, but the real reveal that no one is talking about for some reason is the return of Mew Mew.
Is Mew Mew in the trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah, she is.
I mean, you have to freeze it and zoom and enhance 10 times.
I'm sitting here like,
Yeah.
I need to go watch this shit again. Damn.
But she's there as what people are assuming is supposed to be Sword. I didn't see any
really?
logo. I didn't see any logos or anything to kind of identify them as that, but everybody's calling them Sword. And I'm a
That would
little
be
skeptical because these are the same people that are saying that wine bottle means it's House of M. So
Got it.
I'm on the fence on whether that. But Kat Dennings is in there, so I'm gonna watch it.
If she's a Sword agent, that would be awesome. Like, that's the most like side, like not in the spotlight type of character arc that I would love for an actress like Kat Dennings, who I happen to be a fan of. Just seeing,
I will. Oh, go ahead.
but just seeing that, like that would be awesome if she's in Sword. But like
Yeah.
I said, that's why when in our production test, I asked, like, did anyone else beat off to the WandaVision trailer? For me, it was just seeing them in the classic costumes, like that. Even their Easter eggs, of course, because it's during Halloween. But it's like they did it, like,
But
Now,
but you
I
know what I
always
like too?
maintain
It feels very much like Bewitched, like it's like the Bewitched
Oh,
era in her witch costume, and I'm like, or classic costume.
Right.
Like that's
Yeah,
actually kind of awesome.
well,
I mean,
how
to cut
Tiger
you
Claw
off.
Tiger Claw brought up the reference of sitcoms. Like me, I'm as a genre, sitcoms are my thing. I love them. I'll watch any sitcom, and there's some that are better than others, but like I love how this one plays on like the Dick Van Dyke Show a little bit.
Mhm.
And I'm sure it'll probably do I Love Lucy because that's one of the greatest of all time.
Mhm.
And something along the 70s, like All in the Family or something. We'll see some of that, at
Mhm.
least just aesthetically. So I'm done. I'm
Now,
down.
what I will say is this: is if they use WandaVision somehow, like if say if what Oz was talking about is actually like somewhat true, and they're like in some sort of like alternate reality where they have these kids, and she is actually separated from them, and in that reality she has these kids, she wants them, and there are mutants that exist in that reality, and that reality is like the whole like mutants have always existed, and that's how the MCU like chooses to introduce mutants in this world, like almost like basically like an MCU Ultimate Universe. And it's like you have mutants over here with their own history that have always existed, and somehow like you can do like your own mutant like movies that have nothing to do with the MCU as we know it, but then somehow connect it back so that you like have like a Wanda breaking back into that reality where mutants do exist to get those kids, and that's like how they become aware of each other. And then you almost have like some sort of like I can't remember actually I guess technically the event would be like the Secret Wars, like 2015 Secret Wars, where those universes somehow end up like basically having like an incursion or something, and then all those people end up in one universe. That would be actually pretty epic. Like that I could totally sign off on, because that way you could have your cake and eat it too, where you're like, you have all this back history of mutants if you want it, and you can tell those mutant stories without it affecting the MCU history already. And it's almost like two parallel histories that end up becoming one. That could be amazing, actually.
Do you, Larry, and I know this is a kind of a trick question. Anybody that knows you and loves you knows how you're going to answer. That's why I'm going to word it this way. Do you think Disney could do it not that well? Because I'm sure even if they didn't do it that way, it'll probably still be okay for you. But do you think they could do it that cool?
I mean, listen, here's the thing. Like, I feel like the people that are making these movies at this point, I feel like if Oz watched the trailer, like I didn't have that thought. Oz had that thought. If Oz could watch that trailer and have that thought, I feel like somebody at Marvel Studios could have that thought. And I know they're trying to figure out this problem. Like they're not a problem, but you know, it's a good problem. How do we make mutants into what we already have and it still be cool? And that's actually a great way to do it, I think. Damn you, Oz. Or is that you, Moses? I don't know which one of you. Joe, if it's you, I'm going to punch you.
Oh, I get it. We all look the same. I gotcha.
Yes.
But I will say, I had a chance to check out the trailer, and it was pretty good. It was interesting.
Joe, you didn't get to hear any sound.
Yeah, I did.
Well, I watched.
I muted my mic so I could listen to it.
I'm going to punch you.
There's a sappy song playing in the background.
Oh, Lord.
I actually watched it on mute twice and then watched it with sound.
Okay, got it. There it is.
Because visually it's great. Like I love it, and I usually sometimes if I don't hear what they say, I won't be angry, and I can enjoy it for a brief second until I actually experience the full thing.
Gotcha. We do have a fifth member of Fantastic Forum, ladies and gentlemen. El Hecht is in the building. Hecht, how are you, sir? Hecht, unmute your mic, Hecht. Stop. Don't talk when you're muted. Or should I unmute you? I don't want to unmute you if you're not ready. It's your choice, Hecht.
All you're going to hear is...
he said, hey, look, StreamYard said, can't unmute your guests because they chose to mute themselves. I agree. You're right, StreamYard. How dare I? I blame myself for being presumptuous. Heck says... Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, Heck says, my microphone, my choice. I agree with Heck.
While you're figuring that out, I'll play the news music. We'll jump into some headlines. How about that?
Sounds good.
Woo! Comic book news. We should have comic book like Kurt. Well, not like that, but Like,
Let me just toss this in real quick. Have name one says mutants are watching the MCU.
None.
Oh, I'm sorry. Have name none. Sorry. Have name none one. My bad. That could be the case. That would actually be an interesting concept as well. I'll bring Hecht back in once he unmutes his mic. So, oh, there we go. El Hecht, how are you, sir?
I'm good. I didn't know you were gonna call me in so quick.
No worries. No, of course, man. Hey, look, I don't usually mean to have you waiting in the wings, buddy. So, yeah. Welcome to Fantastic Four, man. What did you want to talk about real quick? We're jumping into news. So, what were you talking about? WandaVision, or were you trying to just hang out till we start talking about Batman 3 Jokers?
I was just hanging out because I didn't see that WandaVision at all. I've been meaning to. I
You
just
didn't see
haven't
the
gotten
trailer?
around to it.
Yeah. That is more than okay, man. If you have any opinion on the news as we go through it, feel free to jump in.
Yeah, man.
All right. So, since we talked about WandaVision, might as well just get this out the way. Black Widow officially got pushed to 2021. So basically, they're like, what was this year's MCU slate for movies got pushed to 2021. So right now, they're doing Black Widow May 2021. I don't remember the exact date. It might be 7th. I don't know. And then Eternals in November, which, as of right now, means that everything that was... Huh?
Can they just cancel that?
Black Widow or Eternals?
Oh, Eternals. Just cancel it because of COVID.
Because of COVID. Cancel it.
Wait,
And
was that-
these
was
trying
it-
and uncertain times.
Was Eternals scheduled for this year?
Yes. Eternals was supposed to come out in November.
Yeah, it was supposed to be something to be thankful for.
They don't think most of the theaters will be open by then?
No, Joe.
No.
2021 is canceled, Joe.
They're going to be in like third wave by November.
Because most of
Yeah.
them are open now.
Yeah, but I mean, we don't know.
Maybe.
Well, you have to remember, Jay, that basically the test beds were New Mutants and then Tenet, and
Yeah.
those didn't go well for America.
Well, those weren't that
Yeah.
good.
Wait, what do you mean?
It's beside the point. Like they should have been like people would if people wanted to go to theaters, they would have gone for those.
Like they didn't do well domestically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I mean, New Mutants was not a good movie. Yes, Tenet, I don't know. I've seen some mixed reviews, but
Tenet is it's not good.
it's not a good movie.
No, it's very, very bland, very generic. The best part about it is that the time stuff, which kind of makes it gimmicky.
Okay.
Wait.
Well,
Wait, so they tried to reopen the theaters with 2 crappy movies.
Well,
And they
Tenet
were
was
banking-
supposed to be good.
nobody thought
was,
Tenet was going to be bad. Yeah, no
Yeah.
one thought it.
New Mutants people knew it was going to be bad, but Tenet was supposed to be a blockbuster.
I like
But-
New Mutants.
I don't know. America's stupid.
I mean,
Well, the thing is,
listen.
they don't have America couldn't have it anywhere, and they just gambled on, having it in the few theaters they could, and then everything else would be foreign market. But the foreign market didn't like it as much either, because really people, everybody, whether you're sanctioned to work at a 30% capacity, 25% capacity, but you're only getting 25% of business, period. Whether you're enforcing it or not, because people aren't doing what they need to be doing. No, I was
Michaels.
yeah, I was at Michael's. Like I bought some Halloween shit. I bought
See, but
frames, like-
your Michael's over there closed.
Yeah.
We
Oh, yeah,
never
yeah.
closed.
yeah.
We stayed open like a bunch of suckers.
I
Yeah.
mean,
To the man.
what it basically was.
Your cases weren't as high as LA County. I mean,
Yeah,
LA County still can't get it, like, because the people could still jump on the fucking plane and jump on a plane and come back in. Like somebody said that they stopped flights coming in. They didn't stop shit. I knew somebody coming from Portugal in March.
Have
know
you
what I
seen
mean?
the shit about the U of A though?
The U of A.
University of Arizona.
Yeah, the university. Yeah.
What
Well,
about it?
that's a hotbed for germs. Period. Like people, all those med students and shit licking each other like on
Oh,
weekends.
it's not
Like,
even the med students though.
You
Like, they
U
know
of A
what they're
students
doing.
are hoping they just get COVID.
there's no med.
We
But what happened at you?
had a bunch of
Tell
people
me.
come back to school. We had a bunch of people
Oh.
come back to school, and I don't know if the majority, but like some of them had COVID, and then they were starting to party, so they spread
Yeah.
COVID, and then they did a
But
big
that's-
old quarantine on them.
Yeah. But according to our president, herd mentality will fix it.
Right.
Yeah. Herd mentality.
So basically,
He said herd mentality.
oh, look. Long story short,
Herd mentality, Larry.
no. Listen. I'm hearing it and I'm ignoring it intentionally.
Right, because
Because-
if you want to get into that, I mean, the other side said 200 million Americans have died of COVID. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey,
but
again,
listen,
again,
listen,
you hold
we
up
don't
your,
want to do this today.
all right.
We don't want to do this today. The fact of the matter is, movie theaters, no one's releasing movies because people aren't going to go see them in enough numbers. So Black Widow, Eternals, which is it's really crazy because this will be the first year in a long time where you have no MCU movies that get released. The slate from this year is getting pushed to 2021, which means it pushes that slate back unless they make some adjustments. Because next year we were supposed to get Shang-Chi and I think Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. And so
They should just re-release everything. Run it like a limited thing.
re-release everything. Like what? What do you mean?
The whole Marvel cinematic stuff.
Why re-release it?
some theaters have been doing stuff like that where they're putting on older movies,
Yeah.
like
See,
like Star Wars.
They want to
you could
get
go
the
watch
economy
Akira.
working.
But here's the thing, though. I mean, I think that a issue, another reason why these movies are getting pushed back is that many of the theaters that opened up specifically to show these theaters or to show these movies supposedly are in a worse position than they were when they were closed.
Yeah, we're seeing that in the hair business too.
Right.
Where it's like
So
they're not making the kind of money that they were hoping they were making to be open.
Yeah.
And so it's not only were they were already losing money before because they're not open, but now they're paying people and losing even more money.
Yeah,
And it's not happening everywhere because some people, obviously some places in America are open-ish.
If you want to hear our quarantine series you can still get it through fantasticforum.live, but on Podbean, audio only, link up here. One of the things I said is that when everything comes back to normal, everybody's going to have to produce 4 times as much revenue to break even for the year. Because in business, everybody's mind is to make a profit. This year isn't the year to make a profit. This is the year to survive. And that's been my mentality for the whole year. And that's, to a certain degree, it's like I'm in, I don't want to say I'm in the green because I don't want to pay taxes, but I'm not in the red. You know what I mean?
Listen, right. People should be treating all their businesses like you've been in business for 24 years. You need to treat 2020 like this was your first year in business.
It's your first year. It's your first year.
Right.
I mean,
you're not trying to mess around and get a profit. You need to break even.
My worker that had a stroke right before COVID, he's been taking this whole time to rehab, and he's back. He just came back 3 days ago,
Oh,
and he's doing all right. but he's working like an apprentice because at this point, like his clients went somewhere else. Nobody in Palm Beach closed throughout the quarantine period, except me, the one dummy, and so they all kept making money, and they all took people's clients who weren't working. So we're all starting like grand opening. Like I put a sign up, grand opening. like, oh, everybody thinks I've been there for a few weeks, and I've been there for 3 years. Yeah, no, but I just put grand opening. Like I painted everything, new color, new everything, new chairs. Like it looks like a new place, and it's really that. Like the only way you're really gonna make anything is if people think you're brand new.
Yeah. So, needless to say, like as far as comic book movies are concerned, that's what's happening. Wonder Woman is actually, which I don't know, I don't remember if we talked about it or not, but Wonder Woman actually got pushed back to December. And I think as of right now, it's still scheduled to open in December. But, we'll see if that ends up holding or not.
Depends if people can stay home when they're supposed to stay home.
I mean, here's the thing, man. It's like part of this is definitely about health and about actual statistics, but a big almost as much of this is about just people's feelings of security, and that's really kind of what it boils down to. Where it's like that's you gotta make sure that both of those things are working together hand in hand, and unfortunately, that's not something that's been able to happen in as streamlined as a manner as we would all have hoped, where you can make people feel safe and actually be safe. And those two things are working in lockstep so that we could have either a smooth close or a smooth open. Everything's been, to use an old term, herky-jerky throughout America for, definitely since the pandemic started in March, but even before then, things were weird. So who knows, man? Who knows when everything will be back on track. I personally, I've written off 2020. I'm just like, nothing that you want to have happen in 2020 is going to happen. So, let's plan for 2021, except for the Rose Parade. That's not going to happen either.
Can you tell that to Michael?
We're going to have Devil's Tears in 2020.
What's Devil's Tears?
That's my brand of beard oil.
Beard oil?
Yeah, that was my goal at the beginning of the year, and it got sidetracked, but I'm going to get it.
Okay, well, listen, I think
you
can
will
still
a bottle of Devil's Tears.
Oh, okay.
Do I get a bottle? Does it work on pubes?
Yeah, it works on everything. It has omega-3, omega-6, and omega-9 fatty acids.
Ooh, 9. That's like better than the 3.
Yeah.
Sounds organic.
Oh, it's organic. With a cannabis sativa base. Yeah, it's vegan.
Oh, yeah.
Like the only cruelty is me, like working like a slave trying to get the formula right for the last 3 years. But yeah, that's the only cruelty.
I need some beard oil.
And Larry, I know you didn't want to do this, but in the news, Eric Larson's making some waves. He made his he made his political views known once again on the cover of Savage Dragon 253. I'll put it up to the camera real quick if you can see it.
It's hard to see, but maybe Jay, can you help us out with a screen share?
Yeah, I'm on it.
Jay is working on it. Yeah, appreciate you, buddy.
It basically says it's a cover of a Savage Dragon 253. It has Malcolm Dragon with his hands over Kamala Harris, and Joe Biden says, "I'm Malcolm Dragon. I endorse Joe Biden and Kamala Harris for president and vice president of the United States." And then the subtitle, Decision 2020.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm mad at Eric Larson for this. Not because he's letting his political views be known. Not because it's like the cover of a comic or anything like that. I'm mad because Kamala Harris doesn't look like Kamala Harris. Like Joe Biden looks like Joe Biden. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Kamala Harris is easy to draw, but especially in Eric Larson's style, it might be tough, but he somehow figured out how to make Joe Biden look like Joe Biden. But I'm looking at Kamala and I'm like, I don't know. I'm not sure if that's her. You all tell me what you think.
One thing I can say is that the cover is a little I don't think he did this with ample time. Like, it was one of his decisions and he just submitted it real quick. You know what I mean?
It almost looks like Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah. Which thanks to her leadership, thanks to her brave leadership, I can go work. No.
It's like, am I tripping?
It kind of looks like her. I mean,
listen, it makes Kamala Harris doesn't look that old.
No, but that's a coloring thing. Like,
huh?
That's a coloring thing. Like, where you highlight
her neck. Look at her neck. Kamala Harris's neck doesn't look like that.
She's either got a tumor
neck.
or she's either got a tumor or an Adam's apple. I can't tell.
No.
And I'm like, Joe Biden, like, don't get me wrong. I don't think Joe Biden looks like this all the time. But there's a version of Joe Biden that looks like this. Like, I've seen that Joe Biden. Like, this is like when Joe Biden is like on his own and he's thinking about how if he could actually take Trump behind the gym and punch him, like, that's the face he makes. You know? But I'm like, there's no version of Kamala Harris that looks like this. So I'm disappointed by that. And
did Kamala have a stroke? Why is her face like half smiling and half like she's got Bell's palsy?
Yeah. She is appealing to Trump's base. Like, that's the thing. You got to preach to that base, bring them over. So they know somebody a little demented, a little slouchy, they would vote for.
Hey, I mean, whatever works. I just was like looking at this and I was like, oh, I'm like, I appreciate his ability and his
look at you,
him wanting to do this, but I just like, I don't know, man. I just like, and especially like for me at this point, like it feels like every wait, this is the comments. Read it.
It says it looks like Maya Rudolph.
And it does look more like Maya Rudolph than it does Kamala Harris.
Amazing.
Which she embodies Kamala Harris when she plays Kamala Harris.
No, but she doesn't though. And that's the thing. It's like Maya Rudolph, which, and don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of hers, and obviously I know like Maya Rudolph is mixed, and so I have no problem with her playing different like African American women. Or women of mixed ethnicity, but Maya Rudolph doesn't look like any of those people. Like Maya Rudolph, like people love her Beyonce, and she definitely like it's not a bad impression of Beyonce, but Maya Rudolph doesn't look like Beyonce. Like, I mean, and I'm not even talking about like I'm just talking about like Maya Rudolph is like your complexion, Mo.
Look, again, acting is playing pretend. Like, you're gonna put parameters on playing pretend.
I will. Absolutely.
Yeah. The problem is,
hey,
like, that's why we have that. That's why now we have to have Schindler's List with black people in it when they remake that.
Who asked for that?
The Academy.
No. What Academy?
You're
dumb with the new Academy rules. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
See, y'all are wild with this.
Means. That's not
what that does means. It mean?
It means you just need a certain amount of black people on crew.
Right.
So it's
but they also mentioned a story.
Trevor Noah explained it, where you just have to have a few people, and I don't even remember. Like, it's not a lot, but they got
one. I think it's literally a person.
Did you guys read the document?
I think it's more than one.
Did you
But
guys
it's
read
not
the
a
document?
lot.
Did you guys
Read
read
what?
the document?
No,
Okay, read the document.
I'm good.
'Cause it talks about story and shit too, not just crew.
Wait, so is this like affirmative action for Hollywood?
It's not affirmative action because here's the thing that is here's how you know people are privileged. They're like, this is now the Academy Awards, which I definitely get is influential. But the Academy Awards is literally just a thing where they're like, we're gonna decide who we think are the best movies. And they literally just made a thing where they're like, if you want to be considered for Best Picture, you have to have a certain number of minorities working on the picture. And it doesn't make any stipulation about what kind of stories you tell.
Did you read the document, Larry?
Dude, the document says something that you have to have a certain amount of stories?
It talks about story too.
Okay, well, Mo, tell us what it is then. If you know, tell us.
Well, look, I didn't memorize it. I just saw
Oh,
it.
well, then don't listen. Tell us what it is or don't.
All right. Well, then
You're
don't tell
telling me I'm
what
wrong.
it is.
Tell
Then
me
you
I'm
don't tell me what it's not. How about that? How about
Say
you
again?
don't tell me what it's not if you didn't read it either?
But what I'm saying is multiple sources have cited that this is the requirement. You're telling me that's not the requirement, and that's fine. Tell me what the requirement
No,
is.
it's not
Tell
the
me what
only
it's not.
requirement. It
Tell me
says
what it's not.
stories involving transgender and shit like that too.
So you're saying only stories that have minority characters are considered for Best Picture? That's the only stories that can be considered for Best Picture?
That's
I have
what
the
it's
document.
all right.
Under the new standards in terms of the actors, at least one of the lead actors or significant supporting actors is from an underrepresented racial or ethnic group. These
Right.
groups include Asian, Hispanic / Latinx, Black / African American, Indigenous / Native American, Alaskan Native, Middle Eastern / North African, Native Hawaiian, or other Pacific Islander, or other underrepresented race or ethnicity.
Right.
Additionally, at least 30% of all actors in secondary and more minor roles are from at least two of the following underrepresented groups: women, racial or ethnic, LGBTQ+, people with cognitive or physical disabilities, or who are deaf or hard of hearing.
Right.
Another way to meet one of the standards is for Hollywood to tell stories about people whose narratives have been sidelined. The official standard reads, the main storyline, theme, or narrative of the film is centered on an underrepresented group.
There you go.
There's
None
more.
of that said the crew.
That's not no wait, that's not true.
There's more. It does talk about the crew.
Right.
Finally, the Academy's standard
Articles
for
down.
to hire more women, LGBTQ+ people, non-white people, and people with cognitive and physical disabilities. The rules call for at least two of the following creative leadership positions and department heads: casting director, cinematographer, composer, costume designer, director, editor, hairstylist, makeup artist, producer, production designer, set decorator, sound, VFX supervisor, writer, to be from underrepresented groups.
And Jay, this is all in relation to being considered for Best Picture, right? Is that what the
Right.
document says? So literally, all we're talking about is one award. Now, don't get me wrong; it might be the top award.
It's the only award that matters.
That's not true.
It's the one that affects money.
No, but that's not true either. You can win best actress, or best actor, or best supporting actor, or best supporting actress, and not change anything about your movie if you don't want to.
But that just affects the actor.
Unless it's Schindler's List.
I don't I don't know what that means. But I'm saying is, and here's the thing: it's like the best actor thing. They're literally saying, here's the different thing. Like all those things are like this or this or this. So
Yeah.
if you tell a story about an underrepresented thing, or you have 30% of the people in some sort of roles that are from a minority group, which includes women. So technically, you can have an all-white cast that 3 of the 10 roles are women, white women, and you still can be in Best Picture category.
Wait, so Schindler's List is fine because aren't Jewish
Right.
people a minority?
Absolutely.
And it's in black and
Well,
white.
they're not considered a minority, but it might.
They
But
are.
you wouldn't have a chance if you would have made it with a cripple or something else as the
And-
lead.
Liam Neeson has a over enlarged penis. That's a minority too. So that's representation. That's a
Not on
physical
this- not on
disability,
this
Lawrence.
All I'm saying is it's one award, and
Yeah.
everybody's like, "Oh man, they're telling us how to make movies," and it's like, dude, you can make whatever movie you want.
As a director, like you want your actors to win, but really you want the best picture.
But
So
you
it's
can
like,
get
you have
best.
to try-
You can get best director without getting best picture in an all-white film.
No. Best picture.
Yeah, but
best picture is not best picture.
but here's what I'm
The
saying
thing-
is
Here's my problem with it, Larry.
this is an oppression.
Before we take too long, my thing is I don't want artists to have to fill out a checklist to try to
Artists
get
have-
the.
Artists can make whatever movie they want. They just can't
They
make whatever
win.
movie they want and
Well,
get nominated for best picture.
yeah. Okay.
And
Good.
here's the thing: there's nothing that says they should get nominated for best picture. It's like it's not. There's no right to that. And that's the thing where I'm like, dude, cats are acting like they're being oppressed, and it's like, dude, you don't have any right to be the best picture from an academy that's like saying they get to decide what they want to do. When cats were like, hey, it's kind of crazy that no one black got nominated for anything, even though all these black people are out here acting, people were like, well, you know what? You might need to act better. But now when they're like, oh, well, you need to
I
have
wasn't like
underrepresented. Look, but when you're like, you need to
I
have
wasn't like that,
underrepresented.
Larry.
Well, I'm not saying you in particular, but I'm saying generally.
But see, that's why I think my little bit of opinion here matters because I'm on both sides of this thing. I want the best thing to win for being the best thing, whether it meets that criteria or not. And I don't want people trying to tell artists what to do, period.
You don't want people to tell artists what to do,
What-
period?
Artists should be able to do what they do, whether in their medium.
But here's the thing.
You know,
it's
I'm gonna
not
start
saying,
Academy Award game.
but it's not telling artists what movie they can and can't make. What it's saying is,
They're telling them what they can and can't win with.
well, yeah, but it's one award.
The one that
Right?
matters.
I mean,
Yeah.
you can say that, but then here's the thing: if people were already being
If it wasn't
inclusive,
the one that matters, it would be
If-
the one at the
if
beginning of the
people were
broadcast.
already being inclusive, this wouldn't be something that was necessary. But they're not.
Well, they have been. Like, who won the last
No, they
5
haven't.
Academy Awards?
What do you say? The last 5? What are you talking about? The last 5 best pictures?
Well, we could start with Best Picture, yeah.
And you're saying what? You feel like the last 5 best pictures were won by minorities?
I believe so, yeah. Maybe 4.
No. Like Oscars So White was like literally like 3 years ago.
Nah, it wasn't 3 years ago. It had to have been at least 6 or 5.
No, man. Like I promise you. Like don't get me
Oscar
wrong.
So
Like
White was when Dallas Buyers Club won. And that was like 8 years ago.
Jay, what were the last 5 best picture winners? Just
Clothing.
okay. Because I promise you, like, don't get me wrong. I think Moonlight won the last one, right? Or was that the one before that?
So-
2017.
2019 was Parasite.
Asian.
Right.
Asian.
Not white. Not white. Just so
Well,
they
not
understand,
white.
not white. Yeah.
Look, I didn't want to say yellow.
2018 was Green Book.
Mm-hmm.
Not white.
That's a white and a black guy.
Why not white? It's like it's both.
Right. So it's not all white.
But here's the thing, though. It's not
met
like
the criteria.
the main actor isn't the black guy.
It met the criteria.
2017, The Shape of Water.
That
Not
had
white.
a fish in it. That lady was boning a fish. Like she described how
Is
his
she-
dick came out and everything.
Is she Latina?
Yeah,
It's
they're all
Sally
Latino.
Hawkins.
Say again.
Sally Hawkins is the star.
Is she
I don't
Latina?
Sally Hawkins?
I'm asking the
I
question.
trust.
Huh?
I can check.
Uh.
Because I'm
She
just
was
saying.
born in London,
Okay.
England.
Okay. And don't get me wrong. I mean, it had a Latin director,
To me.
but
She's
but
of
Yeah,
English
okay.
and Irish descent.
okay. So that's a white person.
Meets the criteria.
Yeah, she was
Why does it meet? Why does it meet the criteria?
because her
Guillermo
her co-star was a black woman.
No,
What?
it meets the
No,
criteria
but-
because she's a woman. Like, woman counts.
And Guillermo del Toro counts.
And how many fish people do you
Wait.
know? Obviously a minority.
Wait, but don't you all see how it's like if the main character is a white person, which she's a
Going
woman.
Next movie.
Okay. Okay.
2016, Moonlight.
Mm-hmm.
Not white. That's what,
Right.
4? Okay.
No, I don't.
2015, Spotlight.
I don't even know what that is.
That's
Yeah.
the true story of how the Boston Globe uncovered the massive scandal of child molestation and cover-up.
Oh,
Catholic.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll give you that. That's white.
yeah.
2014, Birdman or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance.
That was such a good movie.
Again.
Why?
Mexican.
Oh, why? Oh, why? Or
Because that's the title.
That's the title.
oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay, so
Mexican dude. Next, 2013.
12 years
Mexican.
a slave.
Okay, never mind. That's not Mexican. Not
But-
white.
wait,
Next
12 years
movie.
a slave? The slave
That's
movie?
not white. That's not white.
But it's a slave movie.
Look, it meets the
Is it-
criteria.
Wait, look,
Huh.
you're calling it a slave movie like it's promoting slavery as good.
So
I mean, it
wait,
stars Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Chiwetel. No, I know who's in it, and I'm not saying that they're not great actors, but I'm saying like the whole thing was like they only give you Oscars when you're playing like the most evil person or a slave.
2012.
That's another problem. That's not in the stipulations either, Larry. So
I mean, listen. All I'm saying to you is this: like you all are talking like
2012.
the Academy is this progressive body here, and it's not.
2012.
Hold on, real quick. Before 2012, 12 Years a Slave fits because the requirement is if it's about something minority related.
No, listen. I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
saying it doesn't fit. Like Shape of Water technically fits because it's a woman. It's still a white woman and a fish person, and it's like if you feel like that's what the world needs in regards to representation, because Lord knows white women haven't been represented enough. It's like, what are you
The
talking
award
about?
isn't for representation.
But
It is
here-
now,
what,
but
no, it's
it
but
wasn't
but here's the thing. It's like
The award
you're
was
gonna
for-
mess around and talk to me about, oh man, hey, people of color are doing just fine as far as representation is
I'm
concerned
not
because
saying they're doing fine. I'm saying the award isn't for representation.
but here's the thing, the award it's not a government entity. They can decide how they want this award to be awarded however they want. So why is everybody
Look,
all up
the
in arms
government-
like,
Clearly, the government could do it whatever they want. The thing is,
but it's not the
award-
government. It's
No.
a private entity.
Again, I'm saying people
So
are on
it's-
this because
here-
this is
this-
something they feel that they can affect change in. They can't affect change in the government.
No one's
20
acting.
2012 is Argo.
Okay, that's why.
Yeah.
2011, The Artist.
Argo's white despite being in a foreign country. The artist
Alright.
is white too.
So 8.
But what I'm
the
saying,
the last 8, 7 have been minority films. Like my point is, the Academy doing this is preaching to the choir and stifling artists.
but here's the thing: it doesn't stifle any artist.
It does.
Because they
If
can make
they
whatever they want. They
No,
can make whatever they want.
but they can make whatever they want, but they won't qualify to win
I
But
think,
why do they deserve to win?
because it's a
Wow.
good movie.
No. See, that's the thing. Here's what I'm saying is it's not that like we act like people act as though they're like, okay, when before, like here's the thing. We've had this conversation on Fantastic Forum before where I've literally said, hey, I know no one saw that movie, but that very well might be the best movie that came out that year. And if that movie is the one that, they're watching all the movies. If that's the best movie, that's what deserves to win. You all have basically jumped on me like, well, how could you mess around and say that when no one saw it? And so it's like,
Yeah.
You jumped on less, Jay. But what I'm saying is, now that they've made it a requirement for one award, just one, don't get me wrong, it's the top award, but it's one award. They make a requirement and they're just like, hey, we're trying to help foster diversity in a system that we know won't probably do this on its own. And we're like, oh, they're stifling artists.
But
No,
they did it on its own for the last 7 years.
all I'm saying is people of color have been making movies that they knew wouldn't get nominated for Academy Awards for years because they're like, well, those stories are important. So I'm going to tell that story. Now that it's people not of color that are having to do that and be like, hey, I want to make this movie because I think it's important, but it won't get nominated. It won't even not say it won't get nominated for award. It's not going to get nominated for Best Picture. It's like, if you want to tell your story about, Irish coal miners and their plight and know that, hey, all my cast is going to be all Irish men.
Oh, you can't tell that story. 2020.
It's like, what I'm saying is, if that's the story you want to tell because you feel it's important and you're just not going to get nominated for Best Picture, one award, you should do that and no one's stopping you. But because you're used to being able to tell that story and still have a chance at the award, all of a sudden that because you're so used to that, now that somebody's telling you, well, I'm just letting you know, you're not going to get nominated for Best Picture. You might get nominated for Best Director, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress, Best Supporting Actress or Best Actress, but not Best Picture. But not Best Picture. You're like, well, they've messed up my entire creative process. Like, don't you see how that is kind of ridiculous? That's ridiculous.
Have Named None in chat says, so they just need somebody to be like Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder. I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
That's funny, but no, unfortunately, we can't get any amazing roles like that anymore. that's been phased out. I'm okay with it, but it was
Robert Downey Jr. the last one to do blackface?
No.
Hey, here's the messed up part. I don't think he was the last one. I just think that he was the last one that everybody was like kind of okay with.
Yeah. If anybody, he could do it again, and I think it'd be okay.
If they did a sequel.
Yeah.
Well,
but even then, I don't know it'd be okay, but people would
it worked because that was the joke. It was a white man taking a black man's part, and they even reference it in the movie.
Exactly.
But it's on these days. It's on the border, man. They're like, that's
it
some
would be a
people are already
discussion.
looking at it.
But the fact that it could even be a discussion,
be on the border?
Because it's like, but here's the thing. It's comedy, and comedy should be able to push those boundaries. That's something that a lot of people forget.
Not win awards.
Speaking of comedy movies and diversity, so Ray Fisher is going to work on the Snyder Cut.
What does that even mean?
Yeah,
he's showing up. They're doing reshoots for they're doing a week of reshoots.
Wait, they're doing a week of reshoots right now?
They're announced. They're announced. I don't know. I didn't get a date, but they're announced.
Wait, so in the future?
Yes.
Wait, isn't the Snyder Cut done?
Well, they gotta fix some of the stuff.
Has it ever been done?
Broke.
It was never done.
The Snyder Cut's
there was never anything filmed. Maybe like principal shit. Maybe they had plans, but nothing was ever filmed.
It's ridiculous,
stuff was filmed because that's why we saw that mouth. Like
what mouth, Mo?
You know the mouth, the Henry Cavill mouth. Like there was a scene with him with not the mouth, and then they changed the line because Snyder wrote something that Superman wouldn't say, and then Joss Whedon fixed it. That's so you get that mouth.
Listen, you being controversial right now. Joss Whedon fixed it. Oh, geez.
I mean, yeah. Look, people have high hopes for this, and it's not. This is AT&T. Look, this is AT&T would have better luck releasing Wonder Woman on July 4th weekend, this 2020. Like, this isn't going to be good. People are going to like it. But they're the same people that are going to like seeing, Vin Diesel go to space in the next Fast and Furious movie. And that's fine.
Listen,
he can qualify for an Academy Award. He can qualify for an Academy Award.
It will.
I want Vin Diesel in space. I want Machete in space, and then I want them to do a crossover where they meet up and fight.
Yeah, I'm all
Vin
for
Diesel
that.
with a lightsaber monkey wrench, and Machete with obviously his machete saber.
Listen, I don't know if I've ever felt more in lockstep with Oz than right now. Like when they confirmed that Fast and Furious was going to be in space in the next iteration, I was like, you know what? I need to watch all these movies. so I can be caught up by the time we get to space.
They have nowhere else to go. They had a car jump from building to building back and forth.
And that was like 5 movies in, right? Or no?
Yeah, it wasn't the last one. It was probably like the one before that.
What'd you say, Jay?
It's not any more ridiculous than Speed Racer.
Wait,
I think they outran a torpedo in the ice.
Well, didn't the one guy like move it with his arm to like off the trajectory?
Oh, the Rock pulled down the helicopter with his arm.
In Speed Racer, they have a car wrestling league. It's like, this isn't that ridiculous.
I feel like Speed Racer's anime.
Yeah.
So
that
makes it less ridiculous.
Fast and the Furious is some of the best superhero movies out there.
I'm trying to figure out, like, have they been in the water yet, though?
Sort of. They were on a frozen. It was frozen, but they were fighting a submarine.
Well,
and then they found a boat in like the second one, right?
Probably. I don't remember that far back.
Okay, well, listen, I need to watch these movies then, because I guess if they've done land, sea, and air already, then yes, Oz is correct. Space is the only place left.
Like the only way I would watch it if it was called like Micro Machines or something, like Hot Wheels. Like
it's not for everybody.
Because you do everything like with your Hot Wheels or Micro Machines, you put them in the bathtub. Like if they just called it that, I'd be down with it. But at first, like I was out from the first movie because I'm like, this is just a remake of Point Break. It's dumb. I'd rather watch Point Break.
Fast and Furious 1 is just a remake of Point Break?
Yeah, it's just Point Break. Like
so it's like instead of surfing, it's cars.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still like an extreme sport type, but
yeah, I got you.
Yeah, it's
okay.
I'm like, you know what? You derived a movie that wasn't even that great, but it was awesome, and then you just made it not awesome by making it about cars.
They have characters that die in one movie, come back 3 movies later, like, hey, what's up? It's me again, and nobody like looks at them weird, like, okay, well, this is the plan.
The Fast and Furious 1 was a remake of an old movie about muscle cars, and I like that movie. It was called Fast and the Furious, and I like that.
Really?
Yeah, I like that movie when I saw it as a kid because I liked those cars, the Chevelles and the old 60s muscle cars. So having them do it with these new cars to me was like I'm out. And then when I actually tried watching it, was Point Break again, but not good. Like it didn't have Tank Girl in it.
Fair. So, go ahead, Jay.
I was going to go into another news story.
Do it.
DC Universe is going to relaunch with the new name.
HBO Max?
DC, give us your money.
It's a DC Universe Infinite.
Mm.
And they're getting rid of all their TV shows, which are going to HBO Max.
Yes.
And
Wow.
the site will just be comic books and fan events.
Yes.
I wish they would have used that for Fandom.
Used what for Fandom?
DC Universe.
Oh, DC Universe Infinite didn't exist yet.
It's going to be $7.99 a
Didn't
month
think so.
or $74.99 a year. And it's going to be starting up, I believe, summer of 2021.
Right.
That's
so
the
they want
Snyder
you to pay for an
I mean,
That-
it's basically a competition with Marvel Unlimited.
Well, no,
Why not?
or maybe, but the price is different. Like it costs more. Like they're charging you the same price for their exclusive shows, but they're taking those away and then charging you.
Oh, I'm not saying that they're being smart about it, but that's what they're trying to do.
Thanks, AT&T.
Meanwhile, like Joe mentioned, they're moving all their shows to HBO Max
Harley Quinn got renewed though for season 3.
on HBO Max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also,
that's-
too, Young Justice announced their next season, Young Justice
Yeah,
Phantom.
that was last week.
Talked about it last week.
We did?
Yeah.
Yes.
You were. I don't know what was wrong
Where
with
was
you.
I?
You were on the camera, but you were like, yeah.
I
You
was
took
high.
an edible or something.
I was
That
high.
edible kicked in.
That's what
Yeah.
happened.
His
Wait, did
face.
we talk about? Wait, did the Emmys happen last week, or did that happen last week Sunday after
What?
the show? Emmys.
Emmys happened last week Sunday.
Oh,
I
okay.
watched those two. I didn't appreciate being preached to.
But nobody won because nobody fit the criteria.
Watchmen won 11 Emmys.
Yeah, and the best show.
Yes,
Yeah,
which is the first time a comic book show has ever gotten the top award at the Emmys.
yeah, which technically has nothing to do with the comic.
Moses, what are you talking about? How can you say it has nothing to do with the comic?
Well, DC violated the contract with Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons, and they went beyond what they had initially stipulated for those creators. So everything after that's all shitty.
Well,
Even
listen,
Good
now
thing.
if the argument you want to make is DC shouldn't be allowed to make Watchmen stuff, that I can get with you on.
That's where I'm
but-
at. Like,
But
I
if you're
was
saying
talking
from a
about
story
the comic.
perspective that this story is not connected to the Watchmen comic, I would disagree with you.
I mean, look, it's not connected until Alan Moore says it is for me.
Well, but Alan Moore's not going to say that.
Again, okay.
From a narrative perspective,
so
like a
facto.
story. Not ipso facto. No,
No, I
ipso,
said it's so fatso.
no, not ipso facto either. It's like, yeah, but I will agree with you. Like,
think Mo won
and
the
actually,
case.
you have a story about that with oh boy tweeting, right?
Oh yeah. The guy didn't like the font on the cover.
Is that how that story feels to you? Like that's the headline. Such
Let
and
me-
such doesn't like the font.
Let me bring it up. I gotta bring-
I mean, look, that's what I got out of it.
Watchmen won 11 Emmys, which is huge, including I'm pretty sure Regina King got Best Actress, right?
No, she didn't get it. I think it was somebody from Big Little Lies or something, or Big
So-
Little Fire.
So then why what was she giving a speech for then?
I don't know. I mean, I said, I don't know for sure, but
If she won for 11, or if they won 11 Emmys, which which Emmy? Which
Am I
Emmy
the only one?
did she-
was she supporting
I-
actress?
No, she's the lead. What, Moses? You watch Watchmen?
No, I watched
Am-
Watchmen. I thought maybe I'm wrong.
She
I don't
she
know.
won she won for outstanding lead actress in a limited series or movie.
Okay.
Am I the only one that feels like Dr. Manhattan was in blackface that whole time.
I think you are.
I mean, he's a white guy, right?
It's not blackface if you change your entire molecular structure.
So it's black molecular structure face.
Like, he didn't cover his face in black paint. He changed his DNA to a black person.
Yeah, like Rachel Dolezal.
No, not like Rachel Dolezal.
He sure did. I saw that scene.
Here's the story with Rorschach.
Changed his religion too, apparently.
Comic book letterer Jim Campbell let loose on DC Comics and Tom King and anyone involved with producing the Rorschach comic at DC. Here's his tweet. He says, 2 words they still managed to fuck up the lettering.
That was the opening salvo.
Yeah, and it's basically the cover is Rorschach saying a smile. He sees a card. It's an homage to fucking Killing Joke. I don't know why they feel they need to do that.
Yeah,
I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I didn't like the font on the name and all that too. Like, I felt they should have done something better. And then the lettering on the smile, of course. But and then the blood on the collar, like, I didn't like that either. Like, that's too on the nose, you know. But yeah, he says, to be clear, you sell your work on the work for hire basis, and you know what to expect. But Watchmen wasn't work for hire. The reversion clause clearly implies that the work remained Moore & Gibbons' copyright, and that DC licensed it under specific circumstances. This is theft. He goes, he goes on to say a bunch of other things, but that's the main thing. And he does. That's part of the DC contract they had with Alan Moore, where you can't do stuff without their consent. And DC did it, and has been doing it for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
With every Alan Moore's work, not just Watchmen.
Wait, with all of his work?
Yeah, because they did it with V for Vendetta, From Hell.
How they do it with V for Vendetta?
Because they sold the rights off to the Wachowskis, and they made it, and he didn't want it to be done.
Oh.
Well, I have that cover up if you want to show everybody.
Yeah. Oh, that's not the one, right?
No, I like that one. Maybe I love it. But fuck Alan Moore. I like that cover.
No, it's the one where it literally has a letterbox.
It's an homage to
a word balloon.
It's the one that looks like Killing Joke.
So it has a word balloon on it.
I'd be mad if Joe says I don't know what Killing Joke looks like.
Dude, I love the Killing Joke. You're
Exactly.
You're the ones that hated it.
Be ready to be mad, Moses.
Yeah, he liked the cartoon.
I like the comic too, but I did like the cartoon.
Be ready to be mad. Jay's like, wait, what? Yeah.
But yeah,
which cover is it?
It's the one that looks like the Killing Joke.
It's basically Rorschach's face. Just like his face takes almost.
No, not his face. His under face. His face is a mask.
That's a great Watchmen reference.
And it's not like those House of M references in the trailer. Like, I know what I'm talking
about. Exactly.
Not like your comic book resources article about House of M being featured in WandaVision. This is Fantastic Forum style. Give me back my face.
Oh, it's too funny.
You didn't find it, Joe?
It would help because they don't have thumbnails.
So what it is? It's Rorschach without his mask, holding a card, and says that he sees a smile in an inkblot card.
Like, who's the artist?
I got it for you. Hold on.
Brian Boland, I think. Which Brian Boland is a dude that's like a Moore type guy. Like, he works. Right? If he didn't work with Alan Moore, no, he did, because I think he did a Killing Joke. So, yeah, so he's definitely he's a dude that makes all the money because Alan Moore won't receive any. They still want to pay him, but they're not paying him enough. There was no negotiation, and he's like, no, don't do it. Yeah, it's more about the principle for more now, and we need more people like that.
It's that one.
Yeah, that one.
It's not a huge picture, but is yours
No,
bigger, Jay?
It looks
okay,
good. No, it looks good.
Find it.
So he's a third Joker.
Exactly.
If that's what it is, I'll be pissed because I actually like 3 Jokers.
Wouldn't that be some shit?
You know what? Now he would just ruin 3 Jokers for me now.
Sorry.
Because he Rorschach did tell a joke to the therapist, just like Joker. And he said, I am the clown, like there was a punchline. Dang.
Well,
I hate
listen,
3 Jokers. All right.
you're hilarious. Some comic book news real quick. Speaking of characters that don't necessarily belong in the DCU, the DC comic book universe, Jim Lee mentioned that some Wildstorm characters are going to be reintroduced into the DC universe again, starting of course with Grifter in Batman.
Well, Grifter is good for 2020 because he's wearing a mask like we would wear to go buy beer. Like I actually modeled a lot of my, like the ones I use for work when I have work, because it's low now. Like Grifter, but I just do it like this. But I would want to like put a visor inside so I could just have it over my face. Down. I'm gonna get it. I'll get it. I'll have a Grifter mask. I'm working on the hair too, so
there it is.
It's gonna be great.
So yeah, Grifter is gonna be in Batman. I think actually before the year's out, and then it basically said expect more Wildstorm characters integrated into the DCU in 2021 in a very creative way that makes sense. So like,
$50 says if Mo gets a Grifter mask, people are gonna call him Deadpool.
That very well could happen.
Or Fat Pool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Damn. Wow.
Damn.
Why do you go for the jugular like that?
Happy National Hispanic.
That wasn't the jugular, Lawrence. That was the gut.
Yeah.
I went for the jiggler. That's what I went for.
Oh, jeez, man.
It's okay because I'm fat too.
All right.
I'm probably fatter because most still exercises.
What?
What are you saying, Jay?
I was gonna go into the next story.
Go for it.
Christopher Miller, the co-creator of Clone High and voice of JFK, posted a video on Twitter this week announcing he will record a one-sentence line of your choosing in the voice of Clone High's JFK to anyone who can prove they voted early via photo or video evidence.
Jay, when you say the voice of JFK, what does that mean?
Okay, there's a show. It's called Clone High. One of the characters is John F. Kennedy.
Oh, I don't know that. I was listening to the story and I was confused. I was like, wait, so the show is called what?
You didn't get that from the story?
No, I didn't realize. Like, I heard you say Clone High, but I didn't realize Clone High and the voice of JFK were connected. So I apologize. Because I guess I didn't realize that we were cloning JFK.
Yeah, cloning a lot of famous people. You know, JFK, Joan of Arc, Cleopatra, Gandhi.
Why would
characters?
Why would you clone these people?
So you could kill them again.
I don't think they say. I don't remember if they say why. Like, I'm sure they do, but I was more focused on the stories.
No, okay.
On the characters and the overarching plot.
Is it a good show?
Yeah. Like, it's actually pretty funny. Like, especially for its time. Like, it's actually ahead of its time.
Oh, when was it made?
2002.
Oh,
It was an adult
geez.
cartoon on MTV where they cloned a bunch of famous people and put them all in high school. And it's basically a satire of the teen drama shows like Dawson's Creek and shit. And yeah, it's actually really funny. And if you didn't know, they're rebooting it rebooting it pretty soon. Like, so that's why JFK has become a meme, and this guy is offering to do a voice for anyone that votes early.
Wait, JFK from the show has become a meme?
Yeah,
What's the meme?
I don't know. I just know that he is one. Like, people have been talking about him. But I haven't really seen, like, I've only seen one, and it was just a replacement meme.
Got it. Okay.
Speaking of heads splattered, IDW and Hasbro raise awareness for veteran mental health with the G.I. Joe comic book series. They're doing a couple mental health awareness issues. They have a couple covers. It's sponsored by the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. And yeah, they're going to do it in IDW's G.I. Joe number 7. That's coming out.
Cool.
You know,
So we'll see if that helps us stock.
yeah, that's a good thing. I'm glad they're doing that.
Yeah.
A lot of veterans are just fucked, like, completely. Like, their heads are just
All
fucking
people are
gone.
fucked. Not all lives matters, but with veterans instead of black people. So like, all people are fucked.
Oh,
But no, they matter too.
Oh,
Like they need. I mean,
right. Sorry, my internet is fucking up. It's been like for the past
mine.
week.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Which it just sucks because, like, the one main game I'm playing is, like, online only.
I'm sorry to hear that too.
Did anybody get
Even
the
though I
pre-order?
laughed, I apologize. I feel your pain.
Since we're still in news, did anybody get to pre-order the PS5 yet?
PS5.
Oh, I actually did hear news about that.
Mayor
Not
don't even
about
know there's a
PS5.
PS5.
Oh
but-
no, I know there's a PS5 pre-orders, but why would I do that?
No,
So you
something.
can play it.
Oh, go
Oh,
ahead.
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. I'm not good.
I was just gonna say, so you can play all the PS4 games on PlayStation Now.
I mean, yeah. I was gonna mention the Miles Morales game, but yeah, it's on PS4 also.
Yeah, and it's not like up res. Like even if you play Spider-Man on PS5, like your save game don't go over. So it'll upscale it, but you can't continue your progress.
I did. Raymond was telling me today though that they're releasing a pack for PlayStation 5 for the I guess the Ultimate Edition of Spider-Man Miles Morales, where if you buy it, you get Spider-Man for free for PS5.
Right, but your save game doesn't do anything. So
Even if you have it in the cloud, it doesn't matter.
Don't matter.
No.
Nothing from
No,
PS4.
PS5 is having the same issue that like Xbox One had at the beginning. Like they haven't ironed out that shit
But
before
they fixed it.
I mean,
Maybe PlayStation will do the same.
look,
They're not gonna
then
fix it.
I'm not gonna pre-order it till they fix it.
That's fair.
Yeah, we'll all find out in 5 years when we can get one
Yeah,
because they're all sold out.
I did get a
I just-
Xbox Series X pre-order.
What?
Yeah.
Are you doing all digital or regular?
No, I did the regular. I don't want all digital Xbox.
I'm gonna do all digital.
Well, but you know those memory cards might be expensive though. We're not sure yet.
Did you pre-order through Heck.rocks?
I did.
No, I didn't even know I could do that. I'm sorry.
Oh, what an asshole!
No, wait. Did
I'm outta
Heck.rocks
here.
tell me
Bye.
that? He didn't
Yeah.
tell me. When?
He did. He posted it on Facebook in our group.
To be
Wait,
fair, my phone
Did I?
crashed when I clicked
Yeah,
that
threw it in
link,
the group.
but
I'm not trying
If
to
I had
take
known
your
I
top
could have
money.
done it through Heck.rocks, I would have done it.
Yeah, good excuse.
Speaking of, the Xbox One has seen a rise in sales on Amazon.
I did see that. It's messed up.
The speculation is that people are accidentally buying the Xbox One instead of pre-ordering the Xbox Series One or Series X,
Yeah.
whatever it's called. I don't know.
They're buying Xbox One X's instead of Xbox Series X's.
I
Right.
almost put a link to the Xbox One X on my site just to get those sales,
people were like, "Oh man, it's $200! What a sweet deal!"
right?
Listen, they said they said sales went up like 700%. I was like, that's
Yeah,
messed
because
up.
they're. Look,
Now,
I'm
some
not gonna
people
say,
are saying-
but I'm gonna say.
Some
did-
people are saying that maybe it's a thing where people can't pre-order the Series X, so they're getting the Xbox One instead.
That
But
could be the case.
Yeah, I mean, there is a price
for
drop.
all
too.
of that,
Yeah.
I mean, if they just wait when the Series X comes out, they can get mine for cheap.
How cheap
Yeah.
we talking?
How cheap
Pre-order.
you got?
Pre-order.
What are you asking for?
Whoa. We're about to experience a indecent proposal firsthand right here on Fantastic Forum. Like, wait a minute.
You can
I was like,
pre-order
hey, man.
your Xbox One.
Get a room,
that
you
up.
two.
No, that's part of the plan.
No, thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Rather not.
He doesn't want to go all the way to Illinois.
No,
Any
I'll
more
come
stories?
on you. I mean, to you.
Oh,
Whoa.
wow. Any more stories before we jump to these reviews? Okay. Let's talk about.
Hold
Huh?
on.
Oh,
We got a show to do here.
look.
Woo! Comic book
Review.
comic book
Like review.
news. Well, not like that, but like
Let's talk about Batman, Three Jokers. Oz, you want to
Yes.
summarize this joint for us?
Batman 3 Jokers is a book. It's a Batman book with 3 Jokers in it. That's that. Like, I have no idea what's going on in this book.
end.
Because they kind of they imply that different events in Batman history has been a different Joker. Like the Killing Joke Joker is not the one that killed Jason Todd. It's 3 different ones. There's the comedian, the criminal, and I forget
The
what
clown.
they call it. The clown. And the story isn't necessarily about them because in the story they're discussing creating a 4th one, like the Ultimate Joker or something like that. So I want to see where this story goes, but right now I'm kind of like not too sure about where we're at, other than like I need to know where these Jokers came from.
That's fair.
And I need to know why there's 3. The story itself I liked. There's a couple pages that I feel to me are wasted because there's a couple pages where they go over the Joe Chill incident, and to me that's been played so much. I know it's dramatic, but it feels like a gimmick. Like they're just throwing it in there because they're gonna get somebody with it, and those pages aren't for me. Those are for somebody that doesn't regularly read Batman or watch movies or know anything about this character. So I don't know who it's for, really.
I honestly feel the Joe Chill portion is there simply to reference the goons towards the end of the book in the aquarium.
Yeah.
Well, it's a long way to getting to a short point,
Yeah,
because
no, I hear that.
there's a better part that's been done before, but still works because it's not overdone, and it's like 3 or 4 pages, I think, where they show a different Scar and how he got it,
Yeah,
and that kind of thing is cool to see.
yeah.
At some point, I'm sure it's going to get overdone, but for now, it's still unused enough that it impacts you the way that I think they planned it, a lot more than the death of the Waynes.
I'd agree with that, only because, like, I mean, usually Batman with his like scarred up body is something that's always just like a panel, because people are like, oh my God, like, you know, it's impactful because you realize, okay, this is like how you know Batman is just a man, because he has like the scars to prove it. But what made this one impactful was just because they kind of told you the story of each scar in like one panel. And it was an awesome plot device where we're just like, oh wow, like how cool is that? Just because, and it's not like they messed around and were like, they necessarily showed you anything that was like, I mean, some of them felt like they kind of harkened back to some moments that you might remember in comics, but other parts of it were just like, oh, that probably did happen, but you know, you probably just made it just to show the scar. But I remember reading that and thinking to myself, like, it'd be awesome if like that became a thing that was like, okay, well, you have to make sure that you have the right scar in the right place, except for the fact that, you know, artists aren't going to do that.
Well, even the way that they executed it here is because he had a shit ton of scars, and they focused on those. So even if they were off a little, like, you're just overwhelmed by how many he has. And you know, DC, I don't know if they're still on a 5-year timeline, but that's a lot of scars, even for 5 years.
But I feel like Batman, like when they usually show the scars, he usually always has a lot of them, but you don't necessarily know like what the story is behind each one of them. And it would be cool if it was like a thing where people were like, oh no, we think of that as like continuity to a degree, where it's like, no, you like, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's like, I guess there's no equivalent of that. The only thing that I can think of closely, or the only thing that even comes remotely close, is just like when people do Spider-Man webbing. And it's not even like it's the same thing, because the webbing is just the webbing. It's like some artists choose to draw that because they're like, well, that's what Spider-Man looks like. But then other artists, of course, at particular points when they can get away with it, just make it all red. So, yeah. Heck, you read Batman 3 Jokers. What was your impression?
I liked it for first comic for the story. It doesn't really give you a lot of information, but it gives you, you know, hey, this is happening. Keep reading, and then you'll find out more kind of shit. So I liked it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bless.
Heck says bless you, Ray. Jay, Batman 3 Jokers. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I thought it was great. Like, I love watching Batman and Batgirl and Red Hood like working together, like conversing and working. Like, it's good to see. They have decent chemistry. Like, despite the friction between them, they still have like really good chemistry.
And that's where this book kind of shines for me. Like, you guys mentioned the Joe Chill, and I felt kind of similar how Oz said, but I enjoyed it still because of how it played out throughout the book. It didn't feel like it was just thrown in there just as an origin story.
Yeah.
But what I really enjoyed the most was I almost felt like they gave me too much of the 3 Jokers, and I could have just had more of the Batman, Barbara, Jason Todd dynamic. Like, seeing them deal with this situation apart and together was the shining point of this book for me.
I can see that. I can definitely see that. And it's like, it is interesting because it's funny because even before I read this book, I was thinking about like basically the the Bat family, and you know how they always talk about how like the different members of the Bat family kind of like represent almost like different aspects of Batman himself, and like each person, you know, kind of has like maybe like a quality that kind of is like the quality that's the part of them that's the most like Batman. And so in thinking about the Bat family, I was kind of thinking about like, well, what are the different parts of people that make them the most like Batman or whatever? And it's interesting in this book because I feel like, to a degree, they pick with Barbara and with Jason Todd. They kind of pick two members of the Bat family that are like, you know, huge members of the Bat family, but probably a couple that might be like the most apart from Batman in regards to like characteristics. Like, you know, the part, like, it's almost like the parts of Batman that he might suppress a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
They're also the two characters probably the most impacted by the Jokers.
Definitely.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
They all have their like either their want for revenge or their responsibility for the Joker, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So seeing those two together, having a discussion about why Batman won't do anything about the Joker,
Mm-hmm.
and then each one taking a different point where Jason Todd, obviously Joker killed him, so he thinks Joker should die. If anybody should die, it should be Joker. And that's not a spoiler. That's in Under the Red Hood. You know, he tells Batman, I understand why you don't kill, but why not him? You know, after what he did to me, why not kill him?
Right.
And Barbara Gordon, obviously, because she's about justice, is, well, we can't kill him. We have to put him away.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an interesting conversation that they have.
And how it plays down in this book. I mean, Larry mentioned spoilers. Like when Jason Todd shot Joker in the face was fucking tight. And then when him and Batgirl had the conversation, he just tells, like, she shot a batarang to like throw off the shot, but she kind of missed. And she goes, you shouldn't have done that. And then Jason Todd's like, look, Barbara, when's the last time you missed?
Mm-hmm.
And then it just like that scene alone, like I felt that it's kind of a spoilery thing, but I had to say it because that
it's like
was
it's kind of a spoilery thing. It's definitely a spoilery thing.
Yeah, I was trying to avoid it, but that was like the most impactful like
moment. Like, yeah, that made the whole book. Like, I wish this was the Snyder cut. You know, like I could see this play out in a movie because it had the detective element, it had the action, it had the superhero, like the root when they're in the room together discussing how to take actions, which happens in every horror movie and in every hero movie. Like it had that, and it had it all in like what 25 pages or whatever, 30 pages.
I mean, Snyder is credited as a writer.
No, get the fuck out of here.
It's a Snyder. Well, not Scott Snyder.
You son of a.
You mean not Zack Snyder? You mean
the better Snyder? It's a Snyder book, right? Or am I thinking of something else?
No, you're thinking
Jeff
of
Johns wrote it.
It's Jeff Johns.
You know what I like?
Is it?
Yeah.
And that's 54 pages.
54, yeah. And it didn't feel like 54. It felt like a bigger book, but not drawing the line at 22 pages. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no. It's a great story, especially like a great opening installment. And this one's going to be 3 issues, and that's it, right?
Right.
Okay. Oh, jeez. Like in a perfect world, it would be 3 issues. Like,
well, you know, they'll do a reverse clause, and we'll have the animated series. 3 Jokers go to the movie.
Each Joker is going to get a one shot.
Yeah.
Even though I guess Killing Joke would be one of the one shots, right?
And Death in the Family.
Death in the Family.
Do you mean one shot like a comic, or one shot the way this one ended?
One. Oh.
Spoilers.
That's hilarious.
You know what I liked about this book?
Tell
it
us.
Showed all this time that Jason Todd has been alive again. He ain't learned shit because he's still impulsive.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he also has part of his brain missing.
I mean,
tomato.
Like he's got the scar with the hole, and then he had the Lazarus pit Lazarus Piss. Lazarus Pit. Lazarus Piss is my death metal band, but
You know, Rage pissed in it once.
Hey man, don't do that. You saw me drinking. That wasn't right. Oh, my whole body tingles.
pre-order the new album on iTunes. Link up
There it
here.
is. I can't wait to see the logo for that shirt. It's like, yes, it is a demon cock. Like, wait, what? What? I'm sorry.
Oh, so that's the demon's head.
Yeah. Cock Al Ghul. I got Larry to say cock. That's an achievement. Right?
There you go. Achievement unlocked.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, man. I mean, Batman 3 Jokers. It sounds like we all pretty much enjoyed it, but you know, let's go around real quick. Heck, what would you rate Batman 3 Jokers? You know, out of 5.
I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 Joker exploding heads.
Got it. Oz, how about you, buddy?
4.5.
Got it. Jay?
4.
4. I'm gonna give it a 4 as well. I enjoyed it thoroughly, especially I like the Joker Shark. Joker Shark is awesome. So, Mos Magnum, what would you rate Batman 3 Jokers?
I would give it a 4 as well.
There you go.
Even when they reference, like, when's the last time he even used laughing fish? And it's
Right.
like from the cartoon, and it's like,
Yeah.
that's kind of cool. And I didn't like the idea of 3 Jokers, but here we are, and
Yeah.
they executed it well for issue 1. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see where it goes.
Indeed. That feels like an average. Was that 4.15 out of 5? for
4,
Fantastic Four?
4.2.
Yeah, basically a 4, just above a 4. But yeah, I mean, it's Batman written by Jeff Johns, focusing on the different sides of the Joker. You
Once
probably
he
should check
liked
it
some
out.
work, he started writing good comics.
There you go.
Do any
There
of
you
you
go.
guys remember when the 3 Joker thing was revealed? Was it 2017?
Yeah,
It was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago, and it was like,
I feel like
It was
Oh, go ahead.
before Rebirth.
yeah, I think it was in like Eternal or something. No,
No, it was
I
in
don't
the
remember exactly what
Apocalypse
it's for.
War.
Apocalypse.
I think you're right. I
At
think
the
it
end
was
of
a-
that, something.
And I feel like it was supposed to happen like in the comics proper. Like we thought that was going to be like an arc in Batman or Detective.
Yeah, something
So-
like that.
Do you think they probably just squashed it and then brought it out now that in COVID they don't have stuff to put out?
No, because
Or canceled a bunch
I
of shit?
remember after Rebirth, they said this is still going to happen with the 3 Jokers, but then they kept
Yeah.
putting it off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
And it
COVID.
was like, yeah,
What were you
I
saying?
I honestly thought that
it's not a
Joker
COVID thing.
War. I thought Joker War would be the 3 Joker storyline. Like maybe they were fighting to see who the true Joker was, and that didn't turn out to come true.
No. Yeah, but
So
I think
it was-
Heck's right.
Yeah, like it
Go
was
ahead,
always going to come out, but I don't think COVID had anything to do with it coming out now.
Mm-hmm.
So it was first announced in 2015
That's crazy.
with the official announcement, or first talked about 2015, official announcement 2018.
Because I feel like when Snyder was doing Batman, they were like seeding the idea in that book of like the Joker being more than one person and throughout different periods of time and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I thought this was a Snyder book.
Yeah.
When did Apocalypse War end?
I think he's asking you, Joe.
Or
Any of you guys?
No, it definitely feels like a Joe question because Oz isn't at his computer. No. But yeah.
but the it wasn't Apocalypse War. It was the Dark Side War.
Oh, right. Dark Side.
Oh, when was that?
That
Or when did it
was
start? Yeah.
There was Justice League 42, which was
2016.
Yeah, right before Rebirth.
No, well,
And
there
it
you go.
ended in 2016 also?
Nah, it probably ended in 2017, more likely than not, right? But who knows? Yeah. It's okay.
All right.
we'll figure it out for you, Heck.
Right.
Yeah.
You cool if we do a heavy metal minute and then jump into the Sumerian?
I am cool with it. How long is Heavy Metal Minute today?
Like 2 minutes. 2:59.
Let's do it. Bam! Perfect. Let's do
I
it.
did a short one because we're trying to keep it short. It's time for another heavy metal minute. We talked on Fraction of Forever, probably another heavy metal minute too, about Dino Cazares from Fear Factory starting a GoFundMe to help with the completion of their new album, which I believe is called Resurrection. Might be Resilience or something with a lot of R's and S's. But yeah, that is the GoFundMe. I think has now reached its level, or it got half of it in like 2 days. So I remember I talked about donating a little bit to it, and he's provided some updates. So he gave the standard thank you update, which is this right here. And then on top of that update that you just heard, he gave a sampling of what the drumming would be like. So, if you're used to Fear Factory mechanical drums, this is a little different. This is more thrashy, more metally. So it should be pretty good, but it might be a little different vibe than what you're used to. And you just heard that right now. Let me know what you think in the comments. fractionofforever@gmail.com. You can answer me there or on my Instagram. In other news, Facebook is banning and threatening to delete band accounts that play their music because they're the part of the new user agreement thing in their latest update has been that you cannot create a musical listening experience. And that, it's weird because that's where I find a lot of bands, or I connect with bands, that and Instagram, which is owned by Facebook, so they're probably going to have a similar policy. So we'll see. I know one time I uploaded a video onto my story, and I was just watching Burn Notice, and in Burn Notice was a song, and they didn't let me post it because of that song. It was odd, but it was just because I was watching Burn Notice in the background. And Dark Tranquillity is teasing some stuff. They released their new single. I forget the name, but that I'm excited. I love Dark Tranquillity, and they now have Christopher Ammett as a full-time guitarist, and then they have the guy from Andromeda. I forget his name, but he's in it too. And that new album drops November 20th. So I'm gonna try and have that playing under this vocal. So if you've been listening, you're probably hearing a little bit of that new Dark Tranquillity. So go ahead and pre-order that if you like it. I'm Moses Magnum. This has been a Heavy Metal Minute.
All right, Moses Magnum. Good job once again, as usual. Jay is back. Moses Magnum, I'm sure, will be back in a moment. El Hecht, are you still there?
I'm here. It's just my face.
Yo, I'm here.
No. All right, cool. So let's talk about the Sumerian. The Sumerian and the Sumerian people of the Black Circle.
Yes.
Moses Magnum, why don't you tell us what that is? And
this Sumerian, they can't call it Conan because a funny guy with big ears and big bug eyes, and Larry Loves Him has the right little
Who's
mouse
that?
character. Like character has the right, so they can't use it. But so they can't call it Conan. But they are they're making Conan comics nevertheless, irregardless
Regardless.
that rat fuck Mickey.
Damn. Wow. He brings you so much joy and such
Yeah,
disrespect.
that rat fuck. But yeah, Sumerian people of the Black Circle. So these are Ablaze is the comics company that puts them together, and what they do is they actually get the stuff that was printed in these like not amazing fantasy, but these like compilation fantasy magazines in the 30s, and they got the rights to the magazines so they can reprint those because they're grandfathered in. They're actual Robert E. Howard Conan stories. So everything you've been reading with Dark Horse, some of those are actual Robert E. Howard and some are, a little different. But the shit on Marvel is all like Robert E. Howard didn't do Conan 2099, he didn't do Conan Avengers, but these are the original stories just adapted in the comic format, and they actually reprint the prose from the actual issue in the back, so you can actually read the prose and compare it to the adaptation.
You froze for a second.
One was the first one where I read the prose. Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, you froze for a second.
Oh, okay. But yeah, the
mouse.
The pros
you.
on
The mouse
here-
fucked up your internet.
Yeah. Every time I fucked with Disney, remember that time with my router wasn't working?
I
And
do
it was 'cause there was a
remember.
pop- Disney. Yeah. He's like, who's the red fuck now? My voice doesn't go that high. Like, yeah. But yeah. But yeah, so I'm enjoying these because they're the adaptations of the original work, which I like, but I'm not going to read stuff without pictures. So now I can. And we talked about Queen of the Black Coast and what's the other, Red Nails. We talked about that too in our quarantine shows. Check those out on Podbean, link up here. And yeah, this is the next one. These are delayed because of COVID. So this should have come out, I think, sometime in July. Because we're so... the reason I'm in these books now, not just because they're classic Robert E. Howard Conan stories, is because Mirka Andolfo is writing and drawing one. And we've talked about Mirka Andolfo in the past when we talked about Mercy and Unnatural.
Mhm.
And she's just a great artist and writer. Like, I like her stories. Like, Unnatural and Mercy are so different from each other, but they're so good in their own rights. And I want to see her do a Conan story uncensored. These stories are uncensored here too, because they're not owned by the mouse, so they can have Conan do all sorts of shit. Yeah, but they don't add anything to it. You just see the nudity where it needs to be, and you see the fucking where it needs to be, and you see some metaphorical racism where it is. I'm not gonna say it needs to be, but that's where it is, and you'll see that because it's the times. But this one is, as much as I did enjoy it, it's still the lower one. Like, I've already read 4 issues of this series. The first 2 were great. The first 4, rather, 2 series. Each one, I think, it's 2 issues. So those were great. This one was good too. It just wasn't as good. I don't know if I'm just getting itchy for Mirka Andolfo's run on it, but like, I want that already. And I do like how these don't really connect to each other. In this one, this story is Conan essentially being a mercenary for one of these analog Middle Eastern kingdoms. Now we did like the Amazon stuff and Aztec stuff in the other issues, and now he's in this part of the world, and they put him in charge of getting these hostages that were prisoners of war that were taken, 7 dudes, and he just goes and takes their princess. And it's basically just to give himself some insurance. And then there's other foul play within that kingdom and treachery afoot. So it just becomes a convoluted thing. I think this one, out of the other stories I've read for Ablaze, for the Sumerian, I think this one will make the better movie because it has all these spinning plates. Like I don't even see if this one. I think this one might be 3 issues because it feels like they got a lot to get to before it's done. And it was my least favorite of these because it wasn't just a straightforward adventure. There's more. There's
Political
more
intrigue.
process. Yeah, there's like it almost feels like a Game of Thrones in that respect too, where the fantasy and sword of sorcery and the little spy games and stuff like that. So I that's my take on it. And the art was good. It's kind of, anime inspired, and it's not how I would like my Conan, but I'll take it. It was still good. It was still clear, concise. The design was good, and this one felt more like a George Miller's Conan, where you don't see a lot of Conan, but you see the people around him and dealing with them. Yeah,
that's interesting. Jay, what'd you think of it?
Same shit, different day.
Tell us how you really feel, Jay.
Everything I said about the other ones applies here. It's like
well, at least point to the link.
Not really.
Because it's like there's like I know, for example, what's his name? Tanro 210. Like he probably doesn't know what you said.
So I said it was very Joseph Conrad, just kind of boring, like not bad, just not really my thing. And I still haven't read The Nigger of the Narcissus.
What? Is that the name of that story for real though? Still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What? I mean, that's how people talk back then.
Got it.
And
well, that's how they talk now too in some circles.
I know.
Yeah, it was just. It's not for me. Like, and I can't even say it was done poorly. Like, it's more of what I didn't care for in the other series.
Do you feel that it was?
Oh, go ahead.
Do you feel that it was a little less overt in this issue than the other ones?
Less overt in what?
Like the little the little racial side, like
the racial thing. Yeah, that was all me on this one.
Okay.
Like, I really kept forgetting what they were called, so I was just thinking of them as the black people. But
the blacks.
Well, no, the black people. Like they're people.
Oh, now we're people.
Joe's growing.
Joe's growing.
It's progress.
I'm sorry.
They meet the criteria.
They meet 30% people.
That's going to be the title of this episode, Meeting the Criteria.
I will say, because I keep reading these things for the show, not of my own volition, but
Joe's being impressed.
I will say, I mean, Conan has this attitude, and I don't think that it's a bad attitude per se, but like someone really needs to take him down a peg. He's kind of an asshole.
I mean, he's a barbarian.
And not only that, but he was like, yeah, I'm sure if they made it now so he could win an Academy Award for Best Picture, he'd probably be raped too, but he was enslaved and hardened, you know?
No, I get it. I get it. He hasn't not had a charmed life.
Yeah.
But I feel like by barbarian standards, he's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like this guy is like, like this fool is the most like
progressive
barbarian I've ever met.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, here's the messed up part. Here's how I know that Conan in this book isn't that bad, because I had a thought, like when, like Moses mentioned earlier, like he takes the queen of that realm, and he said something like, I can't even remember what he says exactly, but he says something like, "Oh, I know exactly what I'm gonna do with you," or something crazy. And I was like, "Oh, schmack, is Conan about to take this chick back to the camp and let these dudes have their way with her or something?" And then I realized that Conan, like with him talking, he was like, "Oh no, he's just gonna like use her as a bargaining chip, like to get his people free." And I'm like, "Oh damn!" Like
And
I
then
was
at
like,
one point he's like, "Shut up, or you'll taste the back of my hand."
"Yeah, well, but I guess he doesn't say like the back of his hand. I think he says like something like, you know, don't step out of
Please me.
right."
Yeah,
And he doesn't even say like, "I'll punch you." Oh, does he say the back of his hand?
yeah, he does.
Not literally, figuratively.
Gotta keep
But-
that pimp hand strong.
But I was just like, I had this fool like putting her in a camp to gang rape her, and I was sitting here like, man, they should not do this. That's going to be wrong. And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, that wasn't his plan at all. Was that my plan? I was like, oh no.
Now
Like,
you're questioning everything that you're about.
Right. That's exactly what happened. I was like, oh Jesus. Like, wait a minute. Like, this wasn't like I was trying to put that on Conan, but Conan wasn't going down that route.
You're reading Conan the Progressive while you're Mayor the Oppressive.
Right. Right. And I'm like, oh damn, like, is that what I would have done? It's like that's what I took out of it. And so I was just like, oh geez, well, I don't know what that says about me.
Everything about you now. I don't think
Right,
you're getting
but-
reelected.
I will
Trust
say,
me, I question myself.
he'll be pissed when he finds out his people are dead.
Yeah, absolute. I will say this too. I definitely feel where both of you are coming from. You know, I think I probably slightly disagree with both you, Jay, and you, Moses. In the sense that, you know, there was definitely like none of these Sumerian books that we've read, I don't think I've actively disliked. It was just one of those things where it's like I saw like places for improvement here and there. I think one of the things I said on one of the last books was, you know, they tell you things instead of showing them to you.
Yeah.
And that's something that definitely happens again in this book, where, and I understand a part of it is like kind of them using something along the lines of the original story to tell the story, but at the same time, I mean, we're still in a comic book, so it's like, you know, like they're literally panels of you telling me something that you're not showing me, and you're showing me something that's like unnecessary. So I'm just kind of like, technically, this could have been a splash page of something interesting, as opposed to like one panel of like a random building, as you gave me some exposition that is in the in lieu of, you know, the original author. And so, like, you know, I can appreciate them trying to keep the essence of the original story, but you got to make allowances for the medium that you're in too. And so that was one thing that I kind of was like, oh, I'm a little disappointed by that aspect of things. And then another thing was just like small, like literally editorial type stuff. Whereas like I think there was like at least 2 moments in the book where I was just like somebody was trying to write this. They were literally trying to write a phrase or a sentence one way and left a word in from the way they were trying to write it in before, and no one caught it. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, like, who, like, no one proofread this book? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like
We're in a pandemic.
You remember what it was?
I'm not sure that I remember
I kinda
exactly
got-
what it was, but I could find it real quick, I'm sure, because it was literally a thing where. Wait, hold on. I think I might have it here. Hold on. Oh no, that's not it. But it was like a thing where at one point they were talking about You know what? No, I can't say I remember exactly what it was. But
Okay.
there's a lot of exposition. And if I can find it, actually, okay. So here's one. So there's a picture, like Conan is literally outside listening to people talk, and he's scaling this building. And this is what the word bubble reads. This is like the princess or the queen that he's getting ready to capture. She says they would hurl rocks from the cliffs and throw themselves upon my men with their daggers. And I'm just like, hurl is not a thing. And I'm pretty sure that they meant, like, this was probably the person was like, they probably wrote the sentence, they would throw rocks from the cliffs and throw themselves upon my men with their daggers. And he was like, oh, I don't want to use throw in both of those or throw twice in one sentence. So let me use hurl here. But maybe he left in throw from before. And so, like, that should literally read, they would hurl rocks from the cliffs and throw themselves upon my men with their daggers.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember thinking that like, I remember thinking they did that on purpose. Like,
nah.
I was thinking like a hurl rock was a thing.
No, a hurl rock is not a thing.
No, because it's like the old timey Joseph Conrad writing. Like, hurl rocks were things.
No, man, no. Like, that's literally like, he was like, oh, I used throw twice, and that doesn't sound good. So let me like use a different word for throw, and he used hurl, which is a good. I mean, it makes sense for him to change one of those throws. Okay. But then he probably left it in as throw, like he put hurl in and forgot to delete the other throw. And, that's not something that, you're not going to get that in necessarily in, autocorrect or whatever, or in, like your word search thing or whatever it is. What is that called? I can't even think of what it's called now. But your spell check, your autocorrect, your spell check, whatever you're writing in, unless you're writing in something that's like a high level editing program, is not going to look at that necessarily and say, oh, that's not right, like, because it's not misspelled. And so, spell check's not going to catch it. You have to be writing in something that's more like a Grammarly, for it to be like, hey, what do you mean throw hurl here? And so it got left in, and that happened at least twice in the book when I was reading it. I think it might even happen one additional time, but it was a little less questionable. And I'm just like, I mean, we're talking about one issue here. And it's like, you shouldn't, like, there's too many eyeballs on a book, or at least there should be too many eyeballs on a book for that to happen like that many times. Like, occasionally, like, obviously something slips through and it's like, okay, we missed it. That's being human. 2 or 3 times in one book, it's like, well, who didn't do their job? Who didn't do their job? Like, is there no editor? I'm pretty sure editors credited. So I'm just like, okay. There were right. It's 2020. It's a pandemic, baby. It's a pandemic. What do you want from us?
Yeah.
So actually, while you're there's 2 editors. Rich Young, my cousin, and Patrice Lunette. So I gotta send Rich a text and be like, hey man, don't mess the family name up, Unholy. With these bad editing, don't do that. It's like, listen, I might want an editing job one day. They're gonna be like, oh wait, are you like a Rich Young? I'm like, nah, man.
I'm gonna hire him editor in real life. Like, hey, I'm just gonna text you.
Please do. I honestly, like, I'm thinking about career changes anyway. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I do want to edit comics. Like, I can do that.
Look, just edit my life. Like, my interactions with people. Like, I'll just text you real.
I'm gonna be the new
though, but
the new Iyanla Vanzant. Lawrence Young, Mary Young, edit my life. Yes, I will do it. But I was just sitting here and I was reading it and I was just like, man, like, this is not cool. And it happened like again, and then I think it happened again, and I'm just like, ugh. Because I enjoyed the book. The other part of it that I thought was unfortunate was it's one of these things where they mention a lot of names. And it's interesting because I know sometimes I read books like, especially when I'm reading like Marvel stuff, of course, and they like bold names, and I'm just like, I mean, do we really need to bold that name? Like, I mean, I understand we're bolding it so that, you know, it stands out, but I'm just like, you know, so that you like, it's like an introduction, so people are like, hey, we want to make sure that you understand who the Super Scroll is. You know what I mean? Like, that's a character. And I'm like, do we really need to bold Super Scroll? But then at the same time, it's like, hey, you got to keep in mind every comic could be someone's first comic. And this is that kind of thing too, where I know I was reading like this book and there are all these random like kingdoms and people that have different titles, and none of it was bolded. And I was just kind of like, now I'm trying to keep track, because like that kind of goes back to the Game of Thrones reference you made earlier, where I was kind of like, okay, now I'm having to remember like nations and houses and leaders of these different things. And I'm just like, this would be easier if they were bolded, so I can kind of be like, okay, I need to remember such and such of this and such and such of that.
The thing about Robert E. Howard, unless you are willing to become a huge fan, it doesn't matter.
Well, but here's the thing.
By the time you read the next Conan story, like, those won't matter.
They're not going to matter in this story.
Well, but
right.
and here's the thing.
Flavor text.
Well,
like,
but
it's more like, if you're in the know, then you'll get something out of it. If you're not, then you can just ignore it and it won't affect your thing. Like, I kind of knew what was going on just because I played like Conan Exiles for like 30 minutes. And you get to pick like your nation and your god.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I heard all those names before.
I got to get that too.
But
see, I guess for me, I was kind of like,
they
give me the summary in the beginning of the book. And so I'm kind of like, okay, like I was like straight in the beginning of the book at the summary and thinking like, okay, like, you know, his guys got taken by these people and this, that, and the other. And I was keeping it straight in my head because I'm like, if it's in the summary, then it's probably going to be of some note. And then I get into the book and then they're throwing like extra names at me and extra like countries. And I'm just like, wait, so how's this relate to that? And I went back and like read it a second time just to make sure I could like get it straight. Cause you know, some of the names frankly sound similar. So it's kind of like, you know, I'm like, okay, like this, you not only have you given me no frame of reference for any of this, but now you're like, okay, well, we would hate for you to mistake the Simkarians for the Samarkians. And it's just like, well, I don't know what a Simkarian or a Samarkian is. So I don't, you know, I'm just like, just out here on my own, I guess. It's like, you know, I'm gonna call them SMs and them SJs, and hopefully this will work out for me. You know, but you're right. It doesn't hold a lot of significance, at least in this #1 issue. Maybe it will later, but at the same time, you know, it's like,
the important thing to remember out of all that is that the Sumerian god, I don't remember his name, but he could give a fuck if you live or die.
Got it.
It's Crom, right?
I think so, but
by Crom. Yeah, that makes sense. But the funny thing is, despite the book being called the Sumerian, it's like the Sumerian culture doesn't play a role in this at all.
Yeah, because Conan is basically a man without a nation. They got wiped out. So that like, you just know who he is and his legacy whenever other people talk about him.
Right. I did look. There's a screen I wanted to share because I did like this this image as well, because I was like, oh, that's cool, like, you know. But I did like this one. Did that not share? I liked this one, which I was just like, oh, it's a cool like little splash page or whatever. And I thought it was cool because
and that was like right at the opening too. Yeah,
it's definitely in like the first like quarter of the book. I feel like there's another one that comes a little later too that's good, but you know, I don't want to spoil that in case you want to read it.
I know I got excited that panel you talked about where he was like, eavesdropping kind of.
Yeah.
Like, I love that.
Yeah.
I remember like watching them converse and I'm like, when are we going to get to Conan? And then I flip and then he's right there. Like, oh shit, he's right there.
Yeah. No, it was a good moment. It was definitely a good moment. And here's the thing. It's like, again, it's kind of a thing where it was definitely a bit too exposition heavy. Like half of that speech probably could have been cut out, and it probably could have been replaced with like some more dynamic art, especially considering like I personally liked the art in this book. And so, I'm just thinking like, hey, there's other shots that could have come into play here that, would have made for a more interesting, like kind of like story to be told, because literally, like it's a lot of exposition, and then you get like one shot of Conan like outside of the basically they're having a conversation in a tower, and he's like rappelling. Well, I don't even know he's rappelling actually, because I think he's climbing up the tower, and you get a lot of shots of him, like, well, not a lot, but within like say 3 pages, you get like one panel of each of like 3 pages. You get each one panel on each of those 3 pages is Conan outside of this tower hanging from like a rope. And it's like, technically speaking, it's like each one of those shots is like almost the same shot, just like pulled in and out at different angles, or not angles, different zooms. And it's just like, how dynamic, especially considering like the rest of the panel is almost like all a guy talking to this woman, right? So it's just interesting, the idea that for them, what they decide to do is, let's have dynamic angles of this guy and this woman having a conversation inside this room, as opposed to like, let's have dynamic angles of Conan hanging from this rope, and you can just have the word bubbles coming out the window. You know what I mean? Like the most interesting thing that's happening right now is Conan outside of this, hanging outside of this tower. So why are we spending all the time with these 2 people having this conversation in this room when we could be having dynamic Conan shots hanging from a rope, whether it be like bird's eye view or like worm's eye view, and you're like hanging from the rope with Conan? You know what I mean? It's like,
are you talking about the traders?
It's not the traders. It's like the queen and like one of her.
Oh, okay.
And one of her people, like just before.
Queen.
Huh?
At that point, she's not a queen.
Oh, okay. Okay, maybe like I might have it wrong. Maybe she's not a queen. Like,
well, she's a princess. She doesn't become a queen until she kills her dad.
Oh, she didn't kill her dad by this point?
Not the point you're talking. Oh, wait.
I think she did.
Yeah, she did.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
She was a queen. Okay.
I thought it was her brother, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think it is her brother.
No, she was talking with the brother, and then she stabbed the dad, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm
no. I think she stabs her brother, and that's why he asked
again. But it would involve me reading it again.
but either way, it's literally like, like, I'm not saying the conversation is important. Like the text is important. It could have been cut down word count wise, in my opinion. But even if you keep it exactly the same from a dialogue perspective, it's like, there's no reason you need to have a picture. Like, they literally take more time in trying to have, or of showing a conversation of this woman standing up and this guy on one knee at dynamic angles than they do Conan the Barbarian hanging out of a window. So I'm just like, on a rope hanging out a window, which is like the interesting thing that's happening. So I'm just like, I don't know. It's a weird choice, and I don't understand. I mean, obviously different people work different ways when it comes to writing and artists. And so, I don't know how much input the writer got into regards what the artist drew, or if the artist, I don't know if the artist was like, hey, they gave me this amount of time to draw these pages, so I had to go with what I felt was easiest. I don't know. But either way, I'm just like, it felt like a missed opportunity to me. So,
and the artist is pretty good.
Oh yeah, no, I think the artist is great. And that's the thing where it's like, I know the artist can, like, if the artist can make the conversation interesting, which, you know, like the angles they pick for the conversation are pretty decent. At the end of the day, though, it's still just a conversation. So that's the downside of that. And that's why I'm kind of like confused by it, because it's like, you know, I got all types of different angles in regards to this conversation. But when it came to Conan hanging outside of the tower on a rope, it was basically like wide shot, zoom in, mid shot, all from the same side. And I'm just like, and it's literally like 3 pages, and it's like maybe like 5 or 6 panels on each page. One is Conan hanging from a rope, and then four or 5 of the other panels are people in a room having a conversation. And I'm just like, we could just split that in half. Let half of it be Conan from the rope and half of it the conversation. It could have been side by side, and that would have been interesting. You know what I mean? Just because it could be Conan hanging from a rope at different angles. But yeah, maybe that's just harder. I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about what we would rate the Sumerian people of the Black Circle. What do you say, UJ?
I give it a 3. Like, I didn't like it, but it was competently made. And I recognize that if you are a fan, you will enjoy this.
Yeah.
Because it is the same shit as the last 2 or 3 arcs with it, Red Sea, Red Queen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done.
I give it 3.5. I do find it interesting. I enjoy the back matter that includes the actual like original stories as well. And you know, I mean, I do agree with Jay in the sense that competently done, but I definitely see the rooms for improvement. And that's one of those things for me where I'm like, if I can see it, like, I don't even think I'm the most critical person. So I'm sure that there's like some people that read comics or have read comics as long as I have that are trashing this book for some of the choices they're making and some of the way they're executing it. And, you know, it's like, I can't be mad at them, because at the end of the day, based on the talent that we have, I agree. Like, it could be better. So why not? Moses Magnum, what do you think of the Sumerian people of the Black Circle?
I give it a 3 out of 5. I enjoyed it too. I didn't enjoy it as much as the other ones. I think if I would have read the full story, I probably would have enjoyed it better. I can see where it's going to go, and you know, I'll come back and review the rest of it when it comes out. But I am really waiting for Mirka and Dolphin. Like, I really want that.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll come back for that one.
It'll probably be the same. It'll just be her art, because they're not really changing anything from the original source
But I
material.
look for art.
Yeah.
Like, I was researching to see if they had a release date for the Mirka and Dolphin run, and I just came across some of the covers she did, and I was like, God damn.
Yeah.
Man, I love this chick's art. Like,
I saw it on social media when she was talking about the covers, but this was back in like February.
right. So, like, even if the writing sucks, it'll be a joy to look at her artwork.
Oh, there you go. All right, cool. Let's hit some final thoughts music, and we will get out of here. Y'all ready? I know y'all are ready.
Yeah.
El Heck, come on and give us some final thoughts, buddy.
Hopefully I can get out of work, or I have the day off next week, and I can finally review Immortal Hulk.
That'd be nice. You're gonna review the entire series so far?
No, just what I've read.
Oh, okay. What did you read?
The first 6 issues.
Okay. Got it.
It's first 10, I think.
If you can, give us the heads up. Let us know if you think you're going to be able to do that or not, so we can plan for you.
Once I figure out my schedule, I'll let you know.
We appreciate you, El Hecht. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Like, if you're gonna do us a favor, like, make it convenient for us. Thanks.
Yeah, man.
Jay, give us some final thoughts, buddy.
So I was kind of excited for the Sulu Monsterland TV series, but then it looks like it might not be based on the movie, and so now I'm not as excited. But I might check it out anyway.
Fair. Moses Magnum, give us some final thoughts, buddy.
A little bit of a Mo deal. You can get Conan the Barbarian, the complete works, for 99 cents on Apple Books and Kindle, and the audiobook too. 34 hours of Conan on audiobook for 99 cents on Apple audiobooks.
34 hours, my God.
I already bought both copies.
There it is. For the entire Fantastic Forum, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We do appreciate you. We'll be back next week. Until then, make sure that you join us on social media. Hit us at our Instagram. Hit us on YouTube. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. And just, let us know what you want us to talk about if you have any of that going on as well. This is Fantastic Forum, and we'll be back next week. Thanks. Later.